Hello, one and all. Here we are once again back for Monday Night Mayhem, babies. This is, in fact, part 3 of 3 of Once Upon a Rhyme. I am Kevin. I am your game master for tonight, and I am joined by my 4 beautiful, lovely, and talented players once again to finish this tale off. We're going to have a nice, big, epic conclusion and hopefully a happily ever after in our fairy tale-based world here. So, yeah. You can find me on the socials at KevranGames, but that's enough about me. Let's meet these awesome players, shall we? First off, we have no stranger to Monday Night Mayhem, Beth. Hi, Beth. How are you?
Hello. I'm great. I'm really excited to see how this goes tonight with part 3. If we maybe survive, hard to say. But yeah, this has been great. I am on the social media sites at Beth Masco, so you can find me there. What else? That's about it. My goodness.
Everywhere. I love it.
I know.
Well, thank you so much. And you, of course, are returning as Mayor, our
that's
fairy godmother.
That's what it was. Mare, who is a little bit new to the godmothering, but she's trying to figure it out. And this is certainly a departure from her normal working with this crowd. So she's broadening her horizons.
Indeed. Well, awesome. Thanks for being here. I'm really looking forward to seeing her in action tonight and telling her tale. So thank you. Next up, of course, we have returning once again, Rachel. Hello. How are you?
Hello. Doing great. Excited for tonight. I am Rachel Carollo. My handle is Aria Galaxy. You can follow me on Twitter, Carollo_Rachel, or on Instagram at CarolloRach. I am pretty new to streaming, but I've been having so much fun over here at the Superior Adventures Guild. And tonight I am continuing my role as the lovable scamp Goldie, the inquisitive rogue, with an interesting past possibly involving bears and beans. She has a colorful vocabulary and is constantly covered in dirt. And I'm very excited for our epic finale tonight.
Oh, yes. It's going to be amazing. Thanks for coming back. We're glad to see Goldie in action again. So thank you. Next up, of course, we have Javante coming in strong. Hello, sir. How are you?
Hey, everybody. It's me, Jagbaunte, Javante, here for the third and sadly final part of this amazing series of events. I'm back playing as John Henry, the Oath of Glory paladin, who's just a simple working man trying to do the right thing, that has found himself into this whole prophecy of a situation. Super excited to be back. Super happy to be doing this.
Amazing. Yes, it's going to be great. I'm so glad to see you again. So here we go. And finally, of course, my good friend David. Welcome back, sir. How are you doing?
Hey, I am doing fine. Real excited for tonight. Hi, I'm David. I'm from Murder Hobo Incorporated and also Game Night Heroes with our illustrious GM tonight, Kevin. Tonight, if you've been following the show, I'm playing the Piper. He is this mysterious fae being, kind of on the dark side. He is the Pied Piper of legend. Yes, he is a bard, College of Spirits, and it should get interesting tonight. Also, there was one more thing I wanted to address, and I'm so excited that I am forgetting about it. Oh yes, that's it. Hi, I am also D&Devious in the Twitterverse, and you can follow me on Twitter. It's usually gaming updates and things like that for all the projects that I'm involved with and all the projects of people that I follow. So follow me on Twitter, and it's just like, I'll promote you. So that's it. I'm ready for the game tonight, man.
Beautiful. All the good stuff. So yes, we I don't even know what I'm saying now. The 5 of us are back is what I'm trying to say to wrap this up. And it should be a good time tonight with chapter 3 of our tale, The Sleeping Beauty's Fate. Ooh. So let's dive in, shall we? Quick recap. We found our heroes in the past, 4 strangers, all converged in Lor-Am, Maine, which is the capital city of the main country of the world down here, the 7 kingdoms that are split across the lower half of the continent. Centuries ago, there was a great war between the elven races and the human races, in which the elves created the Hedge, a mystical forest nearly 1,000 miles long that bisects the continent and separates the 2 societies. Nobody has gone in or out of the Hedge or dare deal with it. Elves have become a bit of a dangerous tale, and they are met with suspicion. With our group, however, we do have that Mare is actually a traveling elf, a fairy godmother who has been sent down here in her quest to aid a young person or the weak in need. She has been met with the Piper, a hero perhaps, who has a bit of a sordid past of his own, but we have the 2 of them also met with John Henry, a folk hero, supposedly returned from the dead after a dangerous past where he dealt with some creatures in the Feywild. And finally, Goldie, our halfling thief with the heart of gold. And they have been tasked by the queen to retrieve an ancient book from the Library of the Elders to get her daughter Aurora out of the deep and dark magical slumber that she has been placed into. Our heroes have arrived. They have traveled through the dark forest of the Hedge, and they have just recently arrived at the Library of the Elders, where they were met with some strange guardians outside, some elves who fought them pretty handily, but our heroes won the day, made their way inside, and now they come across the tome that they want, but a strange and mysterious voice from all around began to beckon. So, tonight, once upon a time, we join our heroes in the midst of them arriving into the Library of the Elders. So, when the 4 of you arrive into the library, there were different sights and sounds that you noticed. The library itself is old, it's ruined. There are sections of the roof and walls that are destroyed, crumbled into parts all over the floor. There was a entryway that you had come into, pillars that are partially obscured and partially standing. There is an archway that leads to another round chamber that has a podium within, and on the podium was the tome you seek. So the 4 of you entered within, and upon reaching the tome upon the pedestal, you heard that voice. You come to seek what is rightfully mine. You will die trying. And with that, the lights snapped off everywhere. You were all completely surrounded and shrouded in darkness. And in this moment, I need everybody to please roll a d20.
Oh boy.
It's a bad time for my leg to fall asleep. Oh,
No.
14.
14 for John Henry.
Just a
16,
d20.
Just a d20.
16 for Piper.
16 for Piper.
The 6.
6 for Mare.
I got a 2.
And 2 for Goldie. All right. And in that darkness, John Henry, your memories flash you back to the moment when you first decided and learned that the path that you would take to return into the world of the living, to be a hero, to accept your destiny as a man of the people was first realized. If you could please tell me what memory, what vision flashes back to the surface for you? What moment do you relive and see in your mind's eye?
The memory that immediately pulses back is it comes in a spark as he sees the hammer strike against the side of a mountain and make another larger hole. Behind him, he can see the rest of the tunnel that he's been forming just from the swings of the hammer against stone. He can hear the constant churning of the machinery in the mountainside next to him. And as he keeps striking in, he can feel his heart thudding and pounding harder and harder in his chest until in that moment, he also feels it stop. And as his hands start to shake and he starts to see himself fade, he grips onto the hammer harder and continues to swing even as his heart has stopped pumping blood through his body. And that entire scene keeps flashing over and over, and he can feel himself growing visibly weaker and shaking as that memory continues to play over and over, and his hand instinctively moves to his chest and runs against the massive scar tissue over where his heart used to be.
Indeed. And in this moment, when you feel that loss, you feel that death and rebirth in fluctuation repeatedly, please make a Constitution saving throw.
That's a 7.
A 7. Okay.
Yeah.
Good to know. Thank you very much for that.
Oh no.
And John, in that moment, you feel the icy grip of something clutch onto that part of you that your heart used to be and squeezes its icy grip. Piper,
Yes.
there is a memory that flashes to you in this moment as well. A memory that you would perhaps rather leave in the past. Tell us of this moment that you see in your mind's eye in this moment in the darkness.
Okay. At this moment, Piper's memory flashes back, and just as this memory comes into his consciousness, he can hear his heartbeat in his ears. It's like what Piper remembers is that of when he was a child, sitting in a cell in a cage, and this woman would come and visit him, a beautiful Eladrin woman by the name of Sabbatha. Sabbatha, even though he's seen the vision of her in her former Eladrin form, was one of the hags of the Hourglass Coven. She had a special connection to Piper. She took favor upon Piper, and dare I say, if hag was capable of it, she actually loved the little boy. And that was her downfall. Another flash, he remembers Sabbatha running to the cell and trying to unlock it fast enough, but her hag sisters were right upon her, and a fight ensued, and she mortally wounded a few of her sisters, but eventually she fell. And just as Piper, was given the name by Sabbatha of Samuel, he can't remember what his real name is otherwise, just let out this just horrendous scream. And just as he did, and he looked up, he can see the hag's eyes flash green, and then everything turned to darkness. One of the last things that he had in his hand at that moment was a wooden reed that Sabbatha had brought him, and that she taught him how to fashion into a rudimental, like a primitive flute. So, and he would use that to entertain her, and she in return would tell him various tales, but what the tales were also connected to were potent magics that the hags had access to. So, like I said, the last thing he remembers was the hag's eyes before passing out. And then suddenly waking up with this overwhelming pain in his chest and screaming before everything turned to darkness. And that's the last thing he can remember.
And in that moment, it was perhaps truly when the Piper became the Piper, long before the legends painted him as the villain that the countryside knows him to be. In this moment, if you could, Piper, please make a charisma saving throw.
Okay. 12.
Okay. Thank you. Mayor, not from this land, you are from above the hedge, being from the elven kingdoms themselves. Before you became a fairy godmother, there was a bit of a memory that comes to you in this moment as this being in the Library of the Elders who has struck out in the darkness at all of you reaches into your soul to glimpse upon the past. What is it that we see?
So, Mare actually has a few memories fluttering through her mind at this moment. And with the memories, she can physically feel the building tension in her body, the anxiety that she has spent all of her adult life working on, tamping down. And she recalls her childhood. Her mother had passed in childbirth, and so she was left with her father. When she was very small, he did an okay job of caring for her. He had some help, but as the years went on, it became clearer that he didn't want to care for a child on his own. So it started small, little things, like forgetting to offer dinner or, being gone well past nightfall and into the next morning. And, Mare feeling just confused and sort of frightened. And then by the time she was 9, he would be gone for a week at a time here and there, just off working and doing whatever else. And so she was left to care for herself at a really young age. But with this memory, then sort of comes a bit of a rush of warmth when she then recalls in those moments, during a time in particular when her father was gone for quite a while, she remembers meeting Wanda, who was her fairy godmother. And the sense of safety and just care that came with having somebody who really had her interest at heart. So there's the memory of the difficulty and all that made her feel, but then coupled with a little bit of that relief in what she was able to find with her godmother.
Absolutely. The loss of a parent, that distance that you felt being replaced and perhaps even saved by the love of the godmothers as they brought you into their fold did set you on your path, which led you to this very moment. Please make a wisdom saving throw.
Okay. That's a natural 1 for a 6.
Oh, no.
Oh no.
Oh, no. Okay. Thank you.
It's been swell, guys.
These memories are wrecking us.
Oh no.
The icy grip takes its hold on you as well. And Goldie, your past is shrouded in flashes that are quick, nimble, and brief. Flashes that are like your movements as you do your different jobs in the past, working with Jack, working with the Beanstalk, and with also other duties as well. In this moment, in this library, when the fear of the dark begins to encroach upon you, what memory do you relive?
Goldie sees only flames. She is running through the manor as it burns down around her. And she trips a few times over her gangly limbs, and she feels pain in her face as the flames are literally burning the acne off of her cheeks as she runs out. She's a preteen. She's young. None of this was supposed to happen this way. She sees a banner with a bear emblazoned on it go up in flames and drop to the ground as she sprints out the doors of this manor, crumbling behind her. Her eyes are filled with tears, stung from the smoke, and also a sting of, how did this happen? It was never supposed to be this way. And is this all my fault? And Goldie collapses on the dirt outside the manor. She coughs up from the smoke and is sobbing uncontrollably. She's only 13 in this moment and just wrecked with guilt and confusion. And she feels somebody lift her up off of the ground and put a hood over her face. She looks up into the face of Jack with his glinting eyes. And she knows that no matter what she says, everyone's going to think that this was her who did this. Even if it's not true, this is going to be pinned on her for the rest of her life.
Mm-hmm. And as the memory of you and Jack walking away from the burning manor of the three bears springs to your mind, please make a dexterity saving throw.
I'm decent at those.
Mm-hmm.
That's a 7.
A 7. Oh my goodness.
I have a +5.
Yeah, I
Okay.
had a +5 too, and I
Good to
still
know.
whiffed it.
Oh my God.
All righty. And with that being said, some housekeeping. You all were gifted with some bits, one advantage for each and every one of you. Keep that in mind going forward. Also, a bit of housekeeping. Last week, before our illustrious audience realized that it was pre-recorded, they did gift Beth some advantage as well. So Beth, you have 2 advantages to use during the session tonight. Everybody else has 1 currently. So with that information, let's see what happens next. Because in this moment, as the dark begins to encroach and close in around you all feel like you are drowning, being pulled down into the earth. As you try to breathe, as you try to struggle, it's almost as if sand or muck is somehow forcing its way into your face, into your open mouth. As you try to scream, there's no sound, but the 4 of you hear each other still in this moment. You all claw and grip and try to pull your way out of this darkness that is around you. And in this moment, you barely find purchase as your fingers close upon something. All 4 of you manage to pull yourselves up onto the hardwood floor around you. And as the darkness begins to sift away like a fog spreading in a breeze, you all look around. You are back within the library, but it is different now. Instead of old ruins, different sort of smashed up pews and roofs and walls, it is fully restored. There was a strange etherealness around everything, fuchsias and pinks and maroons and blues that seem to permeate. Everything looks like it is a little bit off. It's not quite lined up the way it should be. And with everybody's saves that they made, a 7, a 6, a 7, and a 12, unfortunately, you all failed. So right now, each one of you is going to be considered frightened. If you have any racial things, you can do something with that. But with that being said, when you are frightened, you are basically going to take a little bit of some negatives to some stuff, but that's okay. You're going to have disadvantage on ability checks and attack rolls from, now you see, a woman who emerges out of this ethereal nature. She appears directly behind where the pedestal is that holds the tome that you all seek. And this woman is tall. She is very thin. She has very elongated, very sleek build. Her fingers are long yet strong. She has long, blonde, almost washed out to almost white hair. There is a mask upon her face that is very reminiscent of a bleached skull that has strange green markings around the eyes of it. And as she looks and regards all of you, she says, "Oh yes, playthings. Now you are in my domain. Welcome to the library of the elders, where none of you shall leave again." And with that, let's have everybody roll initiative, please. So going right down the line of what I have here, let's start with Goldie. What did you get?
I got a 17.
17. And Mare?
That's another 6.
Oh boy. John? Oh no.
That's a 0.
It's a 0. And remember, you guys have that advantage if you want to try to use it.
I'm gonna use that.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll use one of mine.
Okay.
Oh boy.
Oh, so much better. That's a 17.
17. Okay.
And mine's now a 15.
15. And Piper.
Piper's going to stand with the 7 that he rolled and save his advantage.
A 7. Okay, good to know. Alrighty, so with that being said, it's going to be when the party all kind of gets their bearings about them. They see this woman, they see that she means them harm. You could tell there's just evil that is just oozing off of her form. She looks at all of you, her eyes narrow into slits. And with that, first up is going to be, strangely enough, the shimmering of the walls begins to move and gyrate. And you see that in different areas of the building here, there are books that begin to slide, move, open, turn, and sway from some sort of unseen force as she simply regales and looks at the 4 of you. And that is it for now. So Goldie and John have the same initiative of 17, so I'm going to assume Goldie was going to go first because she probably has a much higher dexterity.
Right?
Right?
-1? Yeah, I'd assume.
Okay.
My dexterity is pretty high. Wow. I do have advantage against being frightened, by the way.
Okay.
Should I?
You can go ahead and roll again if you want.
I can roll again. Okay. Okay, I got an 18 this time.
Okay. Alrighty. So, Goldie, you are not considered frightened for this combat going up here, but as long as this woman remains, this strange witch, the mistress perhaps, that you all have come to seek, as long as she is here within the presence that you can all see, the other 3 of you are in fact frightened and a little creeped out by this lady because of the effects of the strange library here. So, with that being said, it is your turn. Goldie.
I wanna look at her and I'll just say, if you just give us the book, we don't have to fight. We can go on our way and none of this has to happen.
She does not seem to take any sort of reaction to that. She just looks at you inquisitively, even kinks her head a little bit like she's trying to figure out something about you.
Well, then I will bonus action hide behind John Henry.
Okay. Very good. Very good.
So for stealth, that's an 18.
Okay.
And then I would like to pop out on the other side of him and shoot her with my crossbow.
Okay, sure. Go ahead. You take aim and you fire at her. Go right ahead.
Okay, that is a 21 to hit.
That will.
Cool. And I'm going to add my sneak attack, which is an extra 2d6. So that is 3d6.
Oh, yes, because everyone leveled up to level 4. Keep that in mind, too.
Yes. So I got 10 damage, 10 piercing damage.
Very nice. Very nice. 10 piercing damage. The crossbow bolt fires true and it slams into her flank, and you see that she doesn't even recoil or flinch from it as it hits her. She just continues to look at you all. You do see that as it hits, there was a strange goo, almost like a slime, that begins to slide down out of the wound. Not quite blood. It would seem that she was not as affected by that as you would like to think that she would be. And John Henry, it'll be your turn.
Well, for the first time, John is going to take even though as his fear is accelerating, he places his hands on the hammer, and you all begin to see it glow, and you hear around you the sound of what sounds like more hammers and picks striking at the stone walls.
Mm-hmm.
And as he swings the hammer out, I'm going to activate my channel divinity. So that's finally active.
All righty. What are you activating specifically with that? What's the effect?
He's going to utilize the Inspiring Smite, which will only activate when I hit something with Divine Smite.
Okay.
I have to see how Frightened works on this. Okay, disadvantage on, and I can't willingly move closer to the source.
That's right. Yeah, you're gonna have disadvantage on ability checks and attack rolls while she is present, and you can't willingly try to move by her. She's so fearsome to you.
Well, that being said, I am going to place my hand onto Goldie's back. Let no fear stand in your way. And I'm going to activate Shield of Faith.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
So you get +2 bonus to your AC.
If I may, though, you did do your channel divinity.
Mm-hmm.
That is an action. Shield of Faith, is that an action as well?
It's a bonus action.
Oh, okay. Then never mind. I stand corrected.
So
you did do that.
And that's what I can do right now. I can't get closer.
So then my AC is now 16.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect. Alrighty. And as the witch, the mistress, looks at all of you and regales and sees what's going on with all of you, she straightens her head back up. This is going to be fun, she says. And with that, the books on the shelves continue to move and pulsate and shift. And she is going to, as she looks, she raises her hand in the direction of all of you. I need everybody to please make a Constitution saving throw.
That's an 18.
18 for Mayor.
That's an 18 for me as well.
18 for John. Okay.
14.
14 for Goldie.
All rolls are at disadvantage. Is that correct?
All ability checks, yeah, but not saves.
All ability, not saves. Okay.
Right.
All right. Doesn't matter. I rolled twice. Okay, thinking that was, like an ability check, and it was the exact same roll. So
okay.
10.
10. Okay. And as the mistress begins to gesticulate her hands, she pulls through the air, and some of the books off the shelves rip off. They zoom towards her. They start swirling around her, around all four of you, and this giant just collage and this strange tornado of books and papers and scrolls begin to whip around all of you and buffet all of you. We're going to have Piper take 14 points of slashing damage.
Holy crap.
And 7 points of fire damage as flames begin to emit and spark and ash out of the books as they slam into your form. Everybody else is going to take half of that because they passed the save. So we're going to have everybody else take 7 points of slashing and 3 points of fire damage. Also, because everybody except for Piper passed the save, you all are able to still maintain and see the witch, what's going on. Piper, however, the books and the scrolls, the pieces of paper, the ash, they're flying about, blinding you, getting into your face to where you cannot properly see. You're going to be considered blinded for the time being.
Okay.
So that is what happens with her. And then she is going to stride backwards towards where these bookshelves are, kind of off to the sides over here, and she is going to just use that cyclone of books and papers and scrolls whipping in between all of you to kind of have a little bit of a shield between you. So, Mare, it's going to be your turn.
Okay. If I have her come around to the side a bit here, am I like, I know you said that there are books and stuff. Is she obscured by that, or do I have like a clear line of sight?
Yeah, no, you're able to see through it because you
Okay.
passed the save. Yep.
Okay, cool. So Mare's going to sort of swing around the side, seeing how she's already causing so much damage to her friends here. And Mare's going to cast Bane
Ooh, okay.
on her. So that is a charisma save.
Okay. That is going to be a 16.
Yep. She
Okay.
makes it.
All right. You reach out, you try to get a hold of her with that same kind of gloom and doom of your own, and it seems to have no effect for now.
Oh boy. Okay. That's it.
That's it for your turn?
Yeah.
Okay. Piper, temporarily blinded by all these things blasting and moving about in your face. You can go ahead and try to take your turn. You're currently blinded, so you can't see her. You can't technically affect her with any sort of ranged attacks or anything like that until you get this out of the way. But what is it you would like to do?
Okay. Piper is going to reach up and grab his chest, and you can see him wheeze. And then all of a sudden, you just see this light in his chest. It's like a gold aura with like a sickly green orb in the middle. And then all of a sudden you hear the heartbeat, and all of a sudden you just hear. And Piper's going to cast Cure Wounds on himself. Okay.
Yes, there is energy that comes out of the air, funnels into you through the pulsating and beating heart in your chest, and begins to heal some of your wounds.
Okay. Yes.
Excellent.
Thank you. For his bonus action, can he take a bonus action?
Mm-hmm.
He is going to think of a tale that Sabatha had told him. And I would like to go ahead and roll on the spirit table for Tales of Beyond as his bonus action.
Okay.
All right.
Right ahead. College of Spirits, doing some fun, crazy stuff with those spirits. Yep. You call to them. Even in this place, they are near you always. So what tale do they tell you today?
Wow. Okay. Got to check the number on the chart. Yes. And it is a number 11, Tale of the Angel.
Okay. And what does this do for you?
I won't be able to execute it until my next turn, but the target regains hit points. Boy, this was lucky. Equal to 2 rolls of your bardic inspiration die plus your charisma modifier.
Mm-hmm.
And you end one condition. Holy crap. From the following affecting the target: blinded, deafened, paralyzed, petrified, or poisoned.
My goodness.
Holy crap.
That sounds fun. Okay. Yes, and the spirits flow through you. Your eyes glaze over for a moment as these swirling masses of this gray mist swirl about you, and they whisper nothings into your ear. And yes, now go ahead. Please make another Constitution saving throw.
Of course. Of course. Oh, damn it. 9.
Okay. You are still blinded, however, as the books and scrolls and ash continue to buffet, slam about your face. You try to close your eyes. You're trying to rely on the spirits around you to hold on to the little bits that you can't see. But that is it for your turn, correct?
Correct.
Okay. You all see the books and scrolls on the wall that start to move and swirl as she was controlling them. They start to fall and drift and float in the air around in the area between all of you. There are the books and scrolls on the walls, on the shelves that begin to rip off. There are large swaths of them that come, they stretch out, making these strange, bizarre, dare I say, creatures that look almost like kites made out of paper or scroll that fly through the air. They dart about and they come at all of you. As these creatures come in and they start smacking around towards everything, they are going to move in towards all of you. There is 1, 2 for now. They are going to be represented here. As they come in, one is coming at you, Mayor, and the other one is going to be coming at Piper because he is in range. Let's have both of you please make a dexterity saving throw. Piper, yours is going to be a disadvantage because you are blinded. You can't fully react to what these creatures are doing.
Okay.
That's a 5.
A 5, okay.
Oh boy.
Disadvantage, you say? Okay.
Yes, just for you.
Disadvantage is 16 for Piper on his deck save.
Okay. Mayor, you're going to take 4 points of slashing damage as these kite-type things slap and buffet and slice around you. Piper, however, you're able to, despite being blind, the spirits are guiding your movement. You manage to bob and weave and move out of the way as the kites dance in around these spirits that float around your head. You're just going to take half of that, so you're going to take 2.
Okay.
Okay. Alrighty. And then Goldie.
Back up to me.
Mhm.
Is this guy attacking Piper within 5 feet of us? Both?
It is within 5 feet of Piper. There's not really grid on this map, but yeah, it's basically just far enough away. There's a little bit of a space between. You would have to move in if you wanted to attack with a melee weapon.
Oh, no, I'm trying to see if I would get an opportunity attack if I move away.
Oh, no, you would.
No? Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna... You know what? No. I'm gonna use my cool new ability.
Ooh.
And I won't get sneak attack, but I will step forward and I will pull out my dagger.
Okay.
While I still have my crossbow in the other hand, and I will try to stab it
Oh, okay.
with
Nice.
the dagger.
Alrighty.
That is an 18 to hit.
Oh yeah, you're not frightened. Never mind. 18 does hit. Yep.
Okay, that's gonna be 6 piercing
6.
damage.
Yep. As your dagger
And
slices
then-
in. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. Go ahead.
Oh, go. I have a bonus action, but you can narrate. Go ahead. Go for it.
As you stab into the dagger, you slice and pull and rip out the side of this strange kite creature, and it flutters. It turns back into strange, regular paper with bizarre markings on it, and it slowly flitters and ruffles back down to the ground, seemingly slain by what you just did.
Okay. I think I can still use the bonus action I wanted to use just on a different target.
Sure.
So this one's now gone.
Yeah.
So then I would like to use my crossbow expert attack
Ooh.
to shoot my hand crossbow at the lady. So again, that's because I attacked with my one-handed weapon, my dagger. I can use a bonus attack to attack with the hand crossbow I'm holding.
Okay.
All good?
Let's do it. Yeah.
All right. That is going to be 21 to hit.
Oh yeah, I think that'll work.
Okay. And, ooh, that's 8 damage.
8 damage.
I
Okay.
don't have magic attacks, so I know these are just piercing, but that's
Sure.
all I've got now, you guys.
Not a problem. Okay. Another bolt slams into the lady. Again, she doesn't move. She just kind of takes it. She's just looking at all of you. She's moving her hands still. There's strange energy that she seems to be pulling through the air as she's starting to get ready to do something else. John Henry, what do you do in this moment, sir?
You know, I might be frightened, but that just means I can't get close to you to hit you. I don't have to get close to you for this. I'm going to send out a guiding bolt. Just baseball bat, swing the sledgehammer, and send out the energy
Nice.
towards her. That's a natural 20.
Oh, okay.
So how do you determine crits for guiding bolt?
You just roll your damage twice.
Sweet. So I'm just gonna do it from here. That's 8d6.
Whew.
Oh yeah.
Roll. So that's a total of 34 damage.
Okay. Good to know. Good to know.
Let's go.
Yes, you swing the hammer, and there is an arc of blinding light that streaks out of it, shoots through the air, slams into her. You see she actually does move and stagger back from this a little bit. And as that happens, you see she narrows her eyes again, and she takes a step back. As she takes a step back, she begins to rise up off of the floor. As she rises and floats up into the air, she puts her hands out, and as she begins to close them, these books and scrolls that are floating in the air between all of you come up, and you all see her into one of them and seemingly disappear out of the battleground.
Don't like that.
And Mayor, it is your turn. There's still this kite thing dancing and floating and smacking you about, trying to attack you still.
Okay, so Mare takes just a moment to sort of recognize that the person causing all of these issues has just disappeared, but with that, she has her wand in her hand. She'll allow it to transform into her sword and shield, and she will just take a swing at the book kite situation. 21 to hit.
Oh, yeah.
Sweet. And 4 piercing.
4 piercing?
Yeah.
Okay. And you take your sword and you cleave it right in half, and much like when Goldie hit hers, it just splits and flutters down like paper back down to the ground. You all look around trying to get an idea of what's going on and trying to see what's happening. At this moment, because the spellcaster is out of sight, those of you who were frightened are no longer frightened. That effect begins to fade and wear off of you as you begin to bolster yourselves once more. But Piper, it is your turn.
Okay. And on that turn, the tail of the angel comes into full effect. I rolled Piper's 2 inspiration die.
Okay.
I got a 6 and a 4, so that's 10, plus his charisma modifier, which is 5. So that's 19 points of healing.
To who? To you?
To myself, yeah.
Okay.
And he is no longer blind.
Is that because that's one of the conditions you can cure? Nice.
Yes.
Yes. So, and as you feel the healing power course through the heart, it pumps through you. You see the spirits; they continue to swirl and they just evaporate back into the air, going back to those recesses that they live. And you could feel your senses come back as the last bits of the remnants of the spell fade and fall down around you. You all have just a brief moment to realize that there is a respite, however, as books and scrolls on the wall, they continue to move and to pulsate. And then it is then that you notice that the pedestal, that the tome that you all came to get is upon, it begins to turn and shift, almost like a corkscrew motion. It turns and begins to ascend up into the air as it spins, taking the tome with it, you all notice.
Is there any time to try to grab it?
If anybody would like to try to grab it, you can go ahead and make a dexterity saving throw.
I will.
Yep.
Okay.
No. Not great.
You still have your advantage, I
5.
believe, Goldie.
Yeah, if no one
Yeah.
else rolls better, I will.
Okay.
I'll give someone else a shot. And then
I'll go ahead and give it a try. Why not?
Let's go.
My dex is terrible, so
Can only go well.
it could only go well for me. That's a 16.
Ooh.
Okay. John, you are managed to just barely reach up, grab a hold of the book, and as your fingers close upon it, you feel them almost like grabbing into cake or sponge or mud or something. Your fingers drift into it and you begin to pull away, and there was a chunk of this strange ephemeral goo that gets pulled out and drips and elongates off of your fingers. Definitely not a book you just grabbed. Go ahead and make a Constitution saving throw, please.
I was thinking of the Is It Cake game show.
Okay, 18.
Yeah.
18. You're gonna take 6 points of damage.
Ah.
Of necrotic damage as you grab this strange whatever this is, but has no lasting effect, you would seem. And yeah, you feel your fingers burn. There is a strange black that kind of like coursing veins begins to move up your arm. You take the goo and you throw it down to the ground, and it just seems to melt and spread into the floor. But
Don't grab that.
Don't grab that, right. And the pedestal continues to turn and move and spin up towards the ceiling. What is Goldie doing?
I think I'd like to try to find this lady.
Okay.
Can I use my eye for detail, where I can use like a bonus action to make a perception check, or are we kind of out of initiative right now?
No, you're still in initiative.
Okay. Then I guess what I'll do is try to use that as a bonus action, and then maybe use my action to like dash over that direction.
Okay. There is another another archway over in this area here that leads into another section beyond that looks to be stacks and stacks of books. Again, because the library is fully restored, you can see them all in their splendor. They go all the way up to the ceiling and spread out from wall to wall. Who knows where she might be, but you do move in that direction. Yep.
Okay. And then I'll make my perception check.
Mm-hmm.
That's a natural 1, so I'm going to re-roll it.
All right, because you're a halfling. Yep.
Not much better, unfortunately. That's an 11.
Okay. You look around, you do not see her. You're not sure where she disappeared to, but there is an eerie glow. That strange ethereal nature is prevalent in here as well. It's almost like everything is just slightly curved, not quite straight, not quite the way it should be. There's a strange effect on everything where everything looks like, kind of like when you look through water and everything's slightly off of where it looks like it is. There's that strange presence of that in amongst the shelves in here.
Okay. Then I guess instead of dashing into the room, I'm just going to use my action. I'm going to hold my action to shoot a crossbow at her if she appears.
Okay.
But I'll stay in this doorway and I'll shout behind me to my friends. This next room is looking pretty freaking weird.
Okay. John, what are you doing, sir?
With them looking around, I'm going to... I don't know if this will actually work, but I want to try it.
Can't hurt to try.
Because I don't know if they are a celestial, a fiend, or an undead. But I'm going to activate Divine Sense.
Okay.
Nice.
Which, as an action, allows me to detect good and evil.
Mm-hmm.
I can sense anything affected by the Hallow spell and know the location of any celestial, fiend, or undead within 60 feet that is not behind total cover.
Mm-hmm. You feel out with your senses that connection that you have from when you came back and you came back different. You feel out with that. And although there is overwhelming evil in this place that you can feel from all around, you cannot feel the presence of this woman that you're fighting.
I'm going to move up next to Goldie, just in case. Keep the keeping the hammer at the ready as well.
Okay. You move forward. As he moves forward, there is suddenly 3 streaks of a purplish white light that out of the stacks area directly towards where you're at, Goldie. You're going to take 11 points of force damage from a magic missile that slams into your chest.
Yeah, I don't like that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty hurt.
Okay. And
I was gonna be like, right. Just moving myself. I'm sorry.
yes. And you do see at this point when that happens that I'm going to call her a witch. The witch you see is floating in the air directly in front of these bookshelves over in this area here. And she lowers her hand and there's a trailing purplish white light that comes off of it. and she gets a wicked grin on her face. Now, you were
Yeah,
holding
I'd
your
like-
action, so if
Yes.
you want to try to attack her or something, you could.
Absolutely. The moment I see her, I'm shooting at her.
Okay,
with
yeah.
my crossbow.
We'll
That
get an advantage on that.
and I think I can also use my advantage, which I only got 13. So I think I'm gonna use my advantage because I don't think that's gonna hit.
The advantage given to you from chat.
Yes.
You actually could. You would already have advantage due to guiding bolt.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Oh, that's
Oh,
true,
wait.
yeah.
I have advantage due to guiding bolt, so I'm actually going to just
Thank you, Javante.
No
roll
problem.
it again. And yeah, now that's going to be a 19 to hit.
Okay, that will hit. As the
Guiding
crossbow bolt
bolt.
fires, she begins to shimmer, and it's almost like the bolt's going to pass through her. But in that moment, as she moves and shimmers, it actually makes contact with something as it solidifies again. So what's that damage?
8
8.
piercing damage.
You got it.
Rolled pretty good. Thanks,
Mhm.
Javante.
Yes. Glad you remembered that. All right, cool. And so as that happens, John, you see this witch. No, that was not your turn. I'm skipping people. Excuse me. Mayor's turn.
Okay. Well, doesn't John go before me?
Well, I got out of whack because Goldie just took a held
that's
action
right, that's
attack,
right.
basically. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So I see that the magic missiles come and just pierce Goldie, and that's terrifying. So Mare is going to sort of run behind here, come over to Goldie and cast Cure Wounds.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah. Oops. Okay. Sorry. It's,
Not a problem.
again, it's time. Okay. Cure Wounds. 7 points of healing for you.
Excellent.
Awesome. Thank you. It tastes kind of
course.
minty.
Yeah. It's nice and fresh, you know.
Yeah, that's nice. Yeah, like a
Um,
mint.
And then I am going to I'm going to stay where I am, and that'll be the end of my turn.
Excellent. And Piper, what do you do, sir?
Okay, relieved that he saw Mare take care of Goldie because he was going to flank her and try to help her. He takes notice of the 2 creatures that had perished
Mm-hmm.
in the room.
Yep.
They are creatures, right? They're not constructs or anything like that.
Go ahead and make an knowledge arcana check for me, if you could, please.
Oh, okay. 13.
They seem to be that they were animated somehow. Probably the magics of this place. They're not quite constructs. They're more just like animated scrolls, animated paper, I guess you could say.
Okay. Alrighty, but they were sentient, right, or something like that.
No, it would basically seem that the magics of this place just briefly animated them.
Okay, got it. Okay, yeah, good to know. So yeah, Piper will take his movement to join his friends. He will
Okay.
move behind Goldie, and with a little sleight of hand, slide Mr. Witch's pocket watch into Goldie's pocket.
Okay. You're trying to do this to where she
Ooh.
can't know that you're doing it? You're trying to be stealthy about this?
Yeah, because at the same time I'm touching her shoulder,
Uh-huh.
and I'm
Ooh.
casting guidance using guiding whispers.
Okay, well, let's do this then. First things first. Make
So
a
either sleight of hand or deception.
make a sleight of hand check. I'm going to go ahead and say that you can do this with advantage because you're distracting her by casting the spell at the same time. So she's
Mhm.
kind of focusing on that. You're doing the tried and true pickpocket method of, hey, look over here while you're doing something else.
Pretty much, that Harry Anderson kind of thing,
Sure,
where he
yeah.
takes your watch.
Yep.
So, okay, you said an ability check.
Yeah, sleight of hand. Yep.
Okay. All righty. Let's see. Okay. That'll be a 14, but you said at advantage?
Mhm.
Okay. Yeah, 14 is going to be the highest.
Okay. Goldie, what's your passive perception?
It's a 14, but is there a way I can like choose to fail?
Sure. Yeah. For the cinematic of it, for the story. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, you see him doing some other movements, but you're too wrapped up at the moment. You don't really care about what he's doing. Yeah, so you slip it into her pocket, Piper.
Remind me
Okay.
what guidance does again.
Okay, guidance gives you a D4 to add to the number. Roll to one ability check of its choice. It
Okay.
can roll the die before making the ability check, and then the spell ends.
Thank you.
Okay.
Okay.
And he hands you a scroll. And he said, Goldie, if anything happens and I should fall, follow this to the letter. And it's just a scroll with the wax seal with the Piper's emblem on it. So
Goldie tucks it into like the pocket of her jacket. Her crossbow's still like trained on the bad guy, and she just says over her shoulder, "I guarantee I won't be needing this because you won't be leaving us."
It's just an insurance policy.
Indeed. Yes, and as the two of you are having this moment, you hear rustling and shifting behind you. You can see that more of the bookshelves have books and papers and different scrolls ripping off of them, beginning to swirl in the air about all of you as they begin to move in forward. There's going to be... Oh, yeah. Now we're getting cooking here. One. I'll put it right on top of you there, Mara. Sorry about that. More of these strange kite creatures that begin to emerge out of the shelves. They come in, they begin to come in behind all of you to swarm in at you. So, set all of you make dexterity saving throws, please.
Is it a dex save?
Yes.
Yeah,
I know they're your
24.
favorite. 24 for Goldie.
24.
All right.
15.
15.
Piper's like, sees you. 21 for the
21?
dex check.
I got an 18.
And 18. Okay, you all pass. So you're all just going to take 2 points of slashing damage as these papers and scrolls begin to bump in and slam and smacking around all of you. So, that's the lair action for this turn. So, Goldie, what do you want to do?
I guess I'll try to take out a couple of these guys. Just so that Mare can focus on what's really at hand. So I'm gonna do my same crossbow technique. I'm gonna stab one with the dagger and then try to shoot the other with the crossbow. So I guess I'll just step up here. So I'm within melee range.
Okay.
Is that all right?
Yeah.
Cool. The dagger is gonna be a 19 to hit,
Okay.
and that's only 4 slashing damage, or piercing damage.
Yeah, okay, that's fine. Yeah. And then what's the crossbow bolt?
And then the crossbow bolt is only going to be a 10 to hit.
Okay, so your dagger comes up, it stabs into this one and whips around it like it did to the previous one that you took down. And as you reach over, you shoot your crossbow bolt at the next one over. It cuts right through it and does not drop it, however. So the one directly in front of you, it just kind of scutters and has a problem. It seems to falter down to the ground, much like the other one did.
At least I got one of them.
That's it.
And then, that's my turn.
Okay. John, you see these things as well. You also see the witch still in the other room floating up above the bookshelf, and she looks at you as if she is beckoning you closer. In this moment, you recognize the face of this woman from the vision of the dream you had the other night of the procession that walked through the forest that seemed to drag your body that was not quite ready to pass on. She was part of that procession.
My hand is going to instinctively move and touch the silver spear that I formed.
Mm-hmm.
Am I still frightened of her?
Nope, that has worn off.
I will go ahead and take an opportunity attack if it happens, but I want to charge and see if I can hit her.
You want to charge in there at her?
Yeah.
Okay. You do.
All right. I'm just going to go ahead and give it a swing to see if it works.
Okay.
Okay, that's an 18 to hit.
Okay. As you swing the spear forward, it stabs through and it slices through part of the air. You see it connect with her leg and slice through part of it. Her leg splits underneath where you cut, and you see not that strange goo that's been coming from all the other attacks, but this time it's dark, fey-riddled blood that begins to pour down her leg. Part of her bone is exposed as she winces and screams in pain. Ah! And she grabs onto her leg and she begins to descend down towards the floor.
If that is hit, what is the damage roll for? And I'm going to go ahead and utilize the divine smite with it.
Yeah. The damage for the spear is going to be 1d8 plus your strength, and then your divine smite is going to be 2d8, so it's going to be 3d8 plus your strength.
Okay. So I'll just go ahead and roll 3d8 on this. Where's the 3d8 roll? And adding my strength, that's going to be a total of 15.
Ooh.
And because of my channel divinity, that's going to proc off now. And I'm going to use inspiring smite. Anticipate to creatures of my choice within 30 feet, of which can include me. 2d8 plus 4. So let me do another 2d8 roll.
Okay. Oath of Glory, Paladin. Your powers and your strength in this moment are serving you well.
16. Who is within 30 feet of me?
Basically everybody.
Okay, so that's going to be 16. So everyone, including myself, is going to get 4 temporary hit points.
Nice.
John Henry.
Including the witch. I'll write that down. No, I'm just kidding.
No, how dare you?
I'm just kidding.
Sometimes that's the way it goes.
Yeah, right.
Let me see if I have any other things I can. That's all I can muster for now. As that has happened, the sound of the clanking of hammer against stone and metal, that's now surrounding everyone else in the party.
Yeah.
And it's starting to crescendo, and you all see this same glimmer that has been on his armor is now surrounding and like falling off of you all as well.
Excellent. Beautiful. I love it. And as you hit into the witch, she begins to descend, as I mentioned. She actually comes down onto the floor in front of you. And as she does, she swipes at you with her hands. You see her fingers elongate into long, impossibly long finger-like claws. These talons as she swipes out. 2 attacks at you. Claws. Okay, the one is going to be a 26 to hit. And the other one is because it was a 19 plus, and the other one is going to be a 17.
Both of those hit.
Oh no. Okay. You are going to take from one, it's going to be 10 points of slashing damage. The other one is going to be 9 points of slashing damage.
I'm still up. I'm good.
So how many points total is that?
That would be 19, but take away 4, so that's 15.
15.
So I'm still up.
As she slices into you with these dark claws, you see part of her wounds begin to seal shut.
Oh, you.
As she siphons your life force out of you.
Oh, you. I don't like that.
And she just grits her teeth at you. You will die first. Mayor, in the other room, still fighting these strange kite-like creatures again. You hear all this going on. You see all this going on. What would you like to do?
Okay, so Mayor's going to point her sword, which is glowing with blue radiant energy, at the book kite wind monster thing
Yeah.
down south, farther away from me. And then with that, she'll use her bonus action to cast Spiritual Weapon near that guy. So a larger, ethereal version of her sword appears to take a swipe at it.
Yep.
Doesn't hit this time, but it's there now, just in case we need it.
That's good to know.
But with her sword and shield in hand, she's going to take a swipe at the one that's right in front of her as well. 22 to hit, and then that is another 4 points of piercing damage towards this little book.
Perfect. Yes, and you cut through the air and slice it in twain again. And as it falls, yes, you see your spiritual weapon dance around the other one. This strange kite is moving and bobbing and weaving. It's a flourish, almost like ribbons blowing in the air around each other as the two try to dance in a flurry, a parrying attack against one another.
And then for my movement, since the one in front of me is done, I'm going to slip around the door here and come where I'm hearing things happening with John Henry, and just sort of see what's going on for my next round.
Yep, definitely. And Piper.
Let's see.
At this point, the pedestal behind you all has turned all the way up and is up near the ceiling. It has stopped moving, but there's a loud as it seems to click into place somehow.
Okay.
But there's still these book kite things around you all.
All right. Oh gosh. Okay.
Take care of this last bat, Piper, if you want to help it.
Wow. Okay. How many are left? Just one?
There is two of them. There is one directly right next to you.
Okay.
Here. And there is another one down here that is engaged with the spiritual weapon.
Okay. Damn it. All right. All right. Piper is going to use his movement to, I guess, dash towards John Henry.
Okay. You reach him. You're going to get an opportunity attack against you from the books as you leave that space.
That's what I thought. Yeah, and then I am going to use as my action. I am going to cast Cure Wounds on John Henry. And I saw what happened to him, and I'm just like, not today, friend. And then I'll roll for Cure Wounds.
All right. Well, while you're rolling that, let me go ahead and adjudicate the opportunity attack, which was a natural 20. You're going to take 12 points of slashing damage as you run past out of the way. This kite just grabs onto you and rips across your chest.
All righty.
But then you do get to John Henry. You touch him. You begin to cast the spell. Yep.
Yes. John Henry receives 11 points.
Ooh, nice.
Of healing.
Oh my God, thank you.
And as a bonus action, Piper will I'm going to expend Bardic Inspiration as the bonus action and get another Tale from Beyond as Sabbatha's skull just whispers to Piper. Everybody can hear it. They hear it. It's like this whisper that's talking backwards. And everybody can hear it. Yeah.
Very cool. Very cool.
And you want me to wait till next turn to roll the the tail is?
Well, you can roll now, but we'll have it take effect during next round because there was a lot going on right there. But you can go ahead and roll now. We can see what it's going to be. That's fine.
Okay. All righty. And sorry, trying to get to the features and trades.
Sure. This combat map was made by our very own Miko, producer extraordinaire of the show. It's pretty awesome. I really love the colors and the awesomeness of it. So thank you, Miko, for doing
beautiful.
an awesome job with all the cool maps.
Shout out to Miko.
Yeah, and the character art for the witch.
Yeah, he's been doing all the character art. The character art for this show has been on point. On point.
I mean, come on, look at that.
Beautiful stuff. I love it.
Okay, I rolled a 10.
Mm-hmm.
Tail of the Dragon.
Oh, interesting. Okay. Well, we'll see what happens when you see, as she whispers to you, there seems to be a dragon made out of smoke that comes out of her skull that floats near your head and goes into your ear and disappears into the inside of your ears there. Very spooky. Cool. With that being said, there is going to be movement once again, and you can see that there is the books and the shelves, the strange ethereal nature that Goldie had already called out in the area over here by where the witch is. You see, as the bookshelf that she is in front of moves and shifts, it starts to swallow her up, much like the other book did. So, let me roll something real quick. Okay, and you see she get. What's that?
I was joking. I was like, don't let her, you guys.
Oh, and you see the bookshelf as it moves and shifts. She steps back and it swallows her up and pulls her out of the area. John, you could try to take an attack of opportunity if you want. If you still have a reaction.
Yeah, I do have a reaction. I'm going to take an opportunity attack.
Okay.
You ain't going anywhere. Done with this. That's an 18.
Okay, an 18 will hit. Oh, you're attacking with the spear again?
I'm attacking with the spear again.
Okay.
And that's what, a D8?
Yeah,
D8
it's a
plus my
D8.
strength?
D8 plus
Okay.
strength, yep.
So that's a... that was not a D8 that I rolled. So let's try the actual D8 die.
Sure.
That's a 7
A 7. Okay.
total.
Yep. That's including the strength?
Yeah.
Okay. You got it. So, yeah, as it hits her, as she gets swallowed up, you see more of her blood splatter across the floor and drip down the front of the spear as the bookshelf swallows her up and she vanishes to someplace else. You're not sure where she went. You all look around trying to figure out what's going on in this moment. That was Goldie. You're up.
So inconvenient how she just keeps disappearing. I do think I'm going to just get rid of these last little bat guys with the same combo again.
Okay.
So the dagger crossbow combo.
That's it.
Which again is using my crossbow expert feat. So the dagger is going to be a 18 to hit.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
That max damage, 7 damage. And then the crossbow on the other one is going to be a 23 to hit.
Okay. Yep.
And that's 7.
Beautiful. Your dagger slices into the one in front of you, and you, using your momentum, you grab up and you pull yourself into the air, and you use that bit as you stab through it, and you vault yourself up off of it. You fire at the other one. The crossbow bolt darts in around the spiritual weapon, slams into the paper, and pins it to the wall of the bookshelf as you land on the floor next to the one that you are stabbing. And as you land, you flick it off of your dagger, and it is destroyed as well. You all look around trying to get an idea. Yeah, it is. Go ahead.
Then I'm going to take some cover behind one of these bookcases in case she comes back.
Okay, perfect. All right, John.
I don't know where she is.
Right.
And that is going to annoy me, but I'm going to kind of like move the spear into my right hand.
Mhm.
And instead of grabbing the hammer, I'm going to just grab the area right where the hammer is locked in and pull out this long sheath of what just looks like wrought iron metal as I'm going to equip my shield.
Okay.
And I'm just going to hold my action until she
just go
pops
defensive,
up.
huh?
Yep.
Okay.
If she
okay.
pops up in front of me.
You got it. Alrighty. And with that, she does in fact reappear right in the center of the chamber, right at the base of the large pillar that has risen up and has hidden the book in its grasp. And as she lands, she screams, "Rah!" She throws her hands down, and the books that have been destroyed and on the floor now rise up. They swirl about her, much like that first attack she did when she first attacked you all here. And she puts her hands out, throwing them. And as she throws them, they turn into burning, ashy paper as they fly through the archway. And at Goldie, they just come at everybody. I need everybody to please make a Constitution saving throw.
I thought I took cover, but I guess I took cover in the wrong spot. What was the saving throw again? Sorry.
Constitution.
15.
15 for John Henry.
Another 6.
6
I
for Mare.
got a 3, but I'm going to use my advantage from chat.
Okay. And Mare, I think you do still have one from last week, correct?
Well, I used, yeah. Okay, I've only used one.
Yeah. You don't have to. I'm just saying if you want to use it, you can.
That is a 16.
16
with my
for
reroll.
I'll just keep mine for now.
Okay. Piper, what'd you get?
Okay, I am going to use an advantage because
Okay, that's yours.
Constitution, my con save was 11, so I rolled again. I rolled 17 plus the con save modifier, 19.
Okay, so
Nice.
everybody except for Mare is going to take half damage. The damage is going to be, oops, excuse me, it's 4d6. You gotta roll the right dice. Okay. Mare, you're gonna take 19 points of damage. Everybody else is gonna take, would be 9, because that'd be basically half rounded down. And then we're going to have everybody except for Mare is fine. Mare, much like Piper before you, these things buffet and slam about your face. You are temporarily blinded for the time being. So that is that. But she is there. Goldie, you can kind of see her all up in your grill and whatever. But it is Mare's turn. Mare, you're currently blinded.
Fair.
Fair.
Since I can't see and I was just rocked with that hit, she's just going to close her, well, she can't see anyways, but she'll close her eyes and cast a Cure Wounds on herself.
Okay. Yeah,
Because
we
I
need to see
need
you do
it.
that.
For 11 points of healing, which is
Oh,
fine.
That's nice.
Yeah, and so oh shit. I made that damage. That's not damage. Okay, I'll add it in. And so I'm gonna, oh boy. Yeah, I'm gonna stay where I am. There's nothing else I can do right now.
Okay. Piper,
Yes.
this is getting pretty drastic. This witch is slippery. She is dangerous. You can definitely tell that she knows her way around this place. She's studied it well. So what do you want to try to do to turn the tide here?
Okay.
The dragon effect does go off. What exactly did that do for you?
With that, the dragon effect, I'm going to use my movement to do the tail of the dragon. And let's see. Sorry, I got to get back to it. Okay, tail of the dragon. Okay. The target spews fire from the mouth in a 30-foot cone.
It's good to clarify where it comes out of, so I appreciate you doing that.
Yeah. Oh, it's going to get dramatic when I describe it. Each creature in that area must make a dexterity saving throw, taking fire damage equal to 4 rolls of the Bardic Inspiration die. On a failed save, it takes half as much on a successful one.
So my question for you, and I should know, 'cause I should take time studying the class. When you use these Bardic Inspiration die to do this damage, does it take
This
them
is my
away, or
last one.
this is just what it?
This is my last
Oh,
one.
okay, it does use them up. Okay,
Yeah.
good to know. You said a dex save?
Mm-hmm.
Oh
Yeah.
boy, that's a 7. However,
Bonus action, though.
was that?
No,
Bonus
I said I
action?
have a bonus action,
yeah.
though.
She, however, is going to, because she is in her lair, she's going to use her 1 legendary resistance to pass this check. So she passes. Well, what happens?
Well, she passed it. Okay, because as a bonus action, if I could have taken it, but I probably missed the opportunity. I was going to cast Hex as a bonus action. but
Okay.
I probably missed that opportunity to do that.
No, that's fine. You do the dragon effect, right? But that's you said your movement to breathe the fire. You said.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah. So you
Yeah.
breathe the fire, and so was that save she made? Was that for half or negates?
Let me roll the bardic die.
Yeah.
Let's see. Apologize.
No, no problem.
Let's see.
You said that was 4d8,
Mhm.
d6.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Okay, so 10 plus 4 plus 2, that's a total of 16.
And that's fire damage. You said.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Oh,
Now
it's four. Yeah. Okay.
Now
There we
the
go.
check that she passes, is that for half or then negates everything?
Half on a
Okay.
successful save.
So the 18 goes to 9, right?
Okay. Right.
Okay. Then that is going to be okay. I'm sorry. What was 8 points?
Mm-hmm.
8.
I believe
to
so.
4, and then her resistance goes to 2. So it's going to be this. Okay. And then what do you do as your bonus?
I cast Hex. I think I got to choose one thing, one ability to hex her with.
Okay,
let's
so
see.
that's what you meant. So did you want to do that before then? Is that what you said? You missed your opportunity. Did you want to do?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll backtrack
yeah.
a little bit. So you cast Hex first. Does she need to make a save for that?
I don't think so. I think it just happens. It's a curse. I don't think she. Let's see. You place a curse on a creature that you can see within range until the spell ends.
Mhm.
You deal an extra 1d6
1d6
necrotic damage to the target. Yeah, whether you hit
And what
it
ability
with an
score?
attack.
What ability is she going to have disadvantage on ability checks with?
Dexterity.
On Dex checks because of the Hex. Okay, so then she has to make that save, but
Mhm.
she used the legendary resistance to save, so it's still the same effect. But now she is hexed. So
Yes, correct.
go ahead and do another 1d6 necrotic damage because of the fact that would have been added to the flame that you did from the hex.
You're such a generous GM. That's 6.
6. Okay, that's going to also
Yes.
be down to this, so it's going to be okay. Now we got that all figured out. Okay.
Got it.
Yeah,
Sorry
so
to make
you-
it complicated,
No,
folks.
not a
but-
problem at all. Not a problem at all. So yeah, you
That's a
reach
bard.
out with those strange dark magics the Fae have instilled upon you to make you into the Piper. You reach out and you pull it out of the ethereal nature of the library. It surrounds her, these dark shadows that reach in, grip, and cling onto her. And as you breathe the fire, they partially hold her in place. She gets buffeted and slammed with this breath weapon that you unleash upon her. And normally it would burn and singe away her skin and her flesh and her clothing. However, you see as it hits her, she just closes in upon herself. She pulls all those hexed spirits up off into a ball in front of her, almost forming like a blanket that semi protects her before it kind of recoils back and swirls around her body. So it does not do quite all you wanted it to do, but it did look
Right.
pretty astounding. Alrighty. And with that, it's going to be layer action time. Where'd my D4 go over here? Ooh, we get a new one this time. Okay, so those of you who are in the area of the stacks, which is going to be everybody except for Goldie, please
Mhm.
make a dexterity saving throw.
Okay.
So that's Piper and John and Mare.
Not me though.
Wait
it.
Ooh.
The DC for
19.
this is going to be a 14. So you pass with a 19?
Piper for his dex. Okay. That is going to be 17 for Piper.
Okay, you
16
pass as
plus
well.
1.
Cool. Mare?
That is a 4.
A 4. Okay. Mayor, you get knocked prone to the ground as the ground beneath you splits and starts to turn back into the ruined state of the library. And there's a hole in the floor beneath your feet that you partially fall through and slam onto the ground. You don't take any damage or anything. You're just knocked prone.
Okay. I rolled with disadvantage because I'm blinded. So I figured it for Dex. Yeah. Okay. Good.
Perfect. You are on it. I love it. All right, and Goldie, it is your turn. You see that the witch is in the area with you. She's looking pretty sinister. She also looks like she is really favoring that leg that John Henry has hacked into twice at this point. So what would you like to do?
I think I'll, instead of the dagger crossbow approach, I'm gonna go rapier crossbow approach and run right at her.
All right. Yep.
Yeah.
Just take your crossbow, you just chuck it off to the side, pull the rapier, charging at her.
Oh no,
love
I
it.
still have my crossbow.
Oh, okay. Okay. Well, all right.
No, I still want to do that as my bonus action
Okay.
because
Okay.
I don't get disadvantage at close up because of crossbow expert. The
Oh, yes.
rapier is going to be a 23 to hit,
Okay.
and that is going to be 9 piercing damage.
Perfect. Perfect.
And then I'm going to bring up my crossbow, shoot her in the face.
Dodge this.
Exactly.
Hit her.
I'm like, here you go, you old hag. Breakfast is served. Right in the face. That's going to be a 19.
Okay, that'll
with
hit
the
too.
crossbow. But that's only 6.
6. Okay.
So 9 and 6.
9 and
Yeah.
6. All right. Yeah, she is looking rough. You all are just beating her down. You can see as you shoot her in the head, Goldie, it splits part of her mask beneath. The skin underneath is desiccated and burnt looking. You can see that her facade that she has is starting to wither away. You can start to see her actual form, and she looks old, ancient even, and her body is starting to sag and starting to lose some of its virility as she's trying to move around the space, trying to get at you.
Goldie
says-
screams, go back to the old hole that you crawled out of, you hag.
Nice. She just grits her teeth. This cannot be. John, you're up, sir.
And yet it is.
And
And as the
It be.
chimes of the pickaxes and hammers start to resound, a song starts to also pick up as John, hefting the spear, rushes forward, and I'm going to stab her.
Oh yeah.
Song, by the way, is Wayfaring Stranger.
Nice.
15?
All rights reserved.
As you come in and you go to stab out at her, she, despite the fact being withered and hunched over, is starting to turn into a crone-like shape. She lightning fast grabs onto the spear, and even though you see it sizzle and start to burn in her fingers as the metal burns her fey lineage, she turns and sidesteps and rolls with you out of the way so that the two of you basically, it's just more cinematic than anything, but you basically have switched spots here, and you miss her with a 15.
I am a steel driving man, and I ain't dying here today.
Nice. And then she is going to put her hand up by your forehead. She doesn't touch you. And she just says, sleep. I need to see real quick. She's going to cast a spell.
Yep.
No, can I try to stop her?
Unfortunately not.
Man.
Okay. With the sleep spell, she is going to affect 38 hit points worth of creatures.
Oh my
Um,
God.
So, Goldie and John, what are your current hit points?
I'm at 5 HP, so
You're
I'm
5?
I'm out.
Okay.
Oh, no.
Goldie, what are you at?
I'm at 11, so I'm out.
Okay. So first, John, you just collapse into a sleep on the ground. Goldie, you do as well. And as she slowly turns towards the other two of you, Mayor Piper, what are your hit points at?
I have 19.
19?
Mm-hmm.
Piper, what do you have?
Piper's at 3.
Oh shit, you guys.
At 3?
Wait. Mare, you're a half elf.
She's an elf.
Oh, she's an elf?
Yep.
Elves aren't affected by sleep.
That is true. Yep.
Oh,
Yep.
yeah.
So
Don't worry. guys.
as she turns, John falls. As she turns, Goldie falls in the sway of her moving. She turns, she locks eyes with you, Piper, and you fall. And then she turns to you, Mayor, and you do not. You can tell that she gets an inquisitive look. She goes, one of the sisters has come here to fight me. You will die like your godmother, foolish leaders. And she squares off against you. Everybody else is asleep. So, Mayor, it's your turn.
Okay. I'm still blind. Do I get to save for that or anything?
At the end of your turn, you get to make another Constitution check, and if you pass, you are no longer blinded. Yep. Basically, you've got soot and ash in your eyes. You can kind of barely see her through it. Your eyes watering, tears running down your face.
I'm still I'm still going to even knowing that I can't really see her, I'm going to cast I'm gonna cast Guiding Bolt at disadvantage because I can't see. Okay.
Yep. That's fine.
But okay.
You also have your spiritual weapon, Beth, still in the room.
That's true. It's still in the same room. Yep.
Yeah. I mean, if I were to move that to her, would that just be a roll at disadvantage to try to hit her there? Just like knowing.
Well, I would say to be technically, because you're blinded right now, I would say you probably couldn't redirect it. Because you can't see where it is to move it around.
Right.
So it would be better just to do what you're trying to do for now. Yeah.
Yeah. That is oh no, that was I have to roll at disadvantage. Dang. Nope. I can't see her and I miss.
Okay. As you fire the guiding bolt, you swing your sword and it just goes wide. You hear something shatter and fall down to the ground nearby.
Mm-hmm.
And what you go ahead and make another Constitution check. End of your turn here.
Is it just technically a check or a save?
I do think technically Beth can still attack with spiritual weapon as a bonus action, just at disadvantage.
Okay.
Whatever. I mean,
sure,
either way. Okay.
Up to you, Kev. I'm just
that's fine. Let's do it. Let's do it. This is the moment of truth. Let's do it.
Okay. Disadvantage.
Mm-hmm.
No.
And use your advantage, Beth.
No, I rolled 2 11s. It's not happening.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm not able to see it. It's not happening, but I will roll my con save.
Yep.
17.
That passes. You manage to put your hands up and you pull the rest of the ash out of your eyes. And as your eyes blink back into non-blurry motion, you see the hag. Now she's shifting back and forth between this young, deadly-looking woman and this old, half-decrepit elf figure. As she charges you, as you manage to see her, she's going to attack you.
Sure.
With her 2 attacks. Oh boy. So the one is going to be a 14 plus 6 is a 20 to hit.
Yeah, that'll hit.
Okay. The other one, however, is going to be a natural 1, so you're fine with that. So the one that does hit you is going to do 11 points of slashing damage. Okay. As the dark claws come down, they rake down through she grabs into your jaw and rakes down the side of your neck. You can feel it burning. It's unnatural. You can tell that it's going to leave a scar. It's going to leave a mark there. But then the second one, she swipes again, and you just backstep, you backstep and just through the air.
Okay.
Everybody else is still out. So let me double check with sleep to make sure you guys don't get another save. I don't believe you do, but let me double check here. Do. Nope, until you guys get woken up or something else happens to you. Okay, so Mare.
Yeah.
She's full on charging you, just swiping at you. You have your sword and shield in hand. What do you want to do? This is a battle of the 2 elven ladies here. Here we go.
No pressure.
One night only cage match. Here we go.
Okay. She's gonna now move her spiritual weapon right behind Witch Lady.
Yes.
And make a straight attack with that. 18 to hit.
An 18 will hit.
Okay, and that's 7 points of force damage as this radiant glowing sword just takes a slash at her. And then, if she's still up and at him.
Yeah, it hits her and she arcs her back. She slams down onto her knees and she's looking up at you. You can see there's blood starting to trickle down her face, out of her open mouth, out of one of her eyes. The spiritual weapon continues to dance around her.
And then I'm going to attack with my actual sword.
Sure.
That is a dirty 20. So like mirroring the movement of the sword behind her, the ethereal sword, I come in with the actual thing for 8 points of damage.
Okay. And as she looks up at you, this look of hatred, this look of anger, the two of you lock eyes, and she says to you in the elven tongue, "The realm of man will fall." And you silence her once and for all as you swing your sword across, gouge through her throat, and she drops completely dead and slain to the ground at your feet. There is a moment when all of the area around you is full of deafening silence as all of the books and scrolls floating in the air drop, now lifeless, to the ground. You stand there, Mayor, catching your breath for a moment, and everybody you see starts to stir, kind of get their bearings about them as the library around you starts to shift and turn and melt away, revealing that strange, ruined-like state that you all first arrived in. And as you see the others in the group now coming to be fully awake, you all wake up on the ground, a bit groggy, looking at one another. The woman is still lying there. Now she is old, decrepit, hunched over. She's got wounds all over her. Her skin is old, wrinkled, burned in places, fresh cuts and scrapes from all the attacks that you all have done to her this day. And clutched in her hand, the same book that you all saw when you first entered into the library. You have all been victorious against this woman today.
Mare, you did it. You got her.
Yeah, I'm glad that you all had a nice rest. Here, Mare will. Is the witch like completely kaput?
She's dead.
Oh yeah. Okay. Good. Yeah. So Mare is going to take the tome from her and just hold it tight to her chest.
Yeah.
And then go around with cure wounds for everybody a little bit there. I'll start with John because I believe he can also do this, and then we can get everybody feeling a little bit better.
Sure. You all take a moment to heal one another, to regroup, to get your bearings about you. You take the book. You all leave the ruined library and make your way back out into the dark forest of the hedge once more, knowing that you have to make the journey back towards Nordgrad and then towards Loran, Maine, with the book in tow to hopefully save the Princess Aurora. And on this note, let's go ahead and split on over to a nice little break. Let's let everybody regroup, just like our party members, get their bearings about them, and hopefully take a nice breather and enjoy this moment of calm before the last little stretch of our journey. So we'll hand this back on over to everybody out there in the world, and come on back and hang out with us in 5 minutes, and we'll wrap up this tale. So thank you one and all, and we'll see you shortly. Hello and welcome back. Thank you so much for coming back after that brief little break. Our party has been victorious. They have slain the dark mistress that they are trying to seek out. They have retrieved the tome that hopefully will restore the Princess Aurora back to a waking state. And now, bloodied and bashed, beaten, but tried by fire, they want to return to Loran, Maine to finish their journey. So we meet up with our group as they make their way towards the dark forest, making their way back towards the edge of the hedge to try to leave this place behind. As they start to move in through this area, their wounds have been partially healed. They use the last bits of their resources, but not too much, just in case something attacks them in the hedge. But luckily, they get back to the edge, no problem. And as they emerge back out of the hedge that splits and comes apart, much like it did when they entered, they exit back out into the daylight, a nice, sunny, beautiful day. And they leave that darkness behind them with the book still in tow. So ahead of you, you have a brief journey and you have a way to figure out how to get back. You are all currently, to give us a brief refresher, you are 2.5 days by normal travel away from Nordgrat, which is the nearest settlement to this edge of the hedge here, and 2.5 days by train, or roughly a week or more by riding, and even longer by walking. So what is it that we want to do? We want to figure out what we'll do next. So it's up to you guys. What do you want to do?
Well,
Go ahead, Mayor.
I don't see any produce around.
Piper gives a chuckle at that, and he walks up to Goldie, and he's just like, Goldie, I might want to check your pocket, dear. And if so, I placed something there for safekeeping, but I think now would be a good time to get it back.
You sly bastard. How'd that get past me? And I reach into my pocket and take out the pocket watch.
Okay. All right.
And explain to us, Piper, what does this pocket watch look like?
Okay. It is a gold filigreed pocket watch that Mr. Witch, before he became entrusted with the Witchlight Carnival, was an apprentice to a watchmaker. And the last project that they worked on, it took almost the watchmaker's lifetime to create, was a clock tower, which was in the town of Hamlin. That was the last project, and that's where Mr. Witch was, and that's where the carnival ended up that brought Piper there that fateful day. So basically, it's a gold filigreed watch with like a crystal setting on the inside. And if you turn it over, there is a crystal setting on the backside too. And then when you see the time, the minute hands and the hour hands move and stuff like that, if you noticed on the hour hand, it kind of looks like a little wagon, chariot, or something, and you just see it ticking away, and it is getting close to what time of day is it, Kevin?
I would guess it's sometime after midday.
Midday. Okay. So just at that point, as Piper opens it, you hear click as it comes up to the top of the hour, and then you hear it chime.
Yes.
You
And as
see, Piper, this is why John Henry and I say you and Mare are fancy in comparison to us, okay? We don't have no fancy pocket watches like this, but this is so cool.
Well, thank you. Hey, this is something I had to ask for before we left. So I had to talk to Mr. Witch, because otherwise we'd be stuck here.
And it would seem that the special coolness of the watch is yet to be determined, because as you all stand there and Piper gets a mischievous grin on his face, you see that there is what looks to be a dark cloud on the horizon that appears. It starts to move closer, and as it does, it gets slightly larger.
I take out my crossbow.
Okay.
What's
And
that?
And as it moves forward to come near all of you, you see it begins to materialize into a dark carriage drawn by several horses of the same color. You can see that on the side of it is the different insignia of the Witchlight Carnival, emblazoned on the side in gold filigree in different reds and white colors, paints perhaps. You see that the two horses that drive it as they get closer are not horses at all, but rather a creature that Mayor you instantly recognize as nightmares, which are strange dark horses that have hooves for fire. Their mane is emblazoned the same way. They drive the carriage forward, and you see that the driver up on top is a tall, dark-skinned woman, very beautiful. She's wearing a ringmaster's red jacket that's got embroidery upon it, very fanciful. She has a top hat as well that has a signature brooch clipped on the side of it that also matches the carnival. And as she comes up, she stops the horses, and on the side of the carriage, a door swings open, and a cute little girl does a front flip, swings, and lands on the floor. "Hello," she says. And Piper, you recognize these individuals. These are Isolde and Amelia, who are of the Witchlight Carnival.
Right.
And they look and they smile warmly at you.
and Piper is just beaming. He's just, "Ladies, it is a pleasure to see you." And bows.
John places a massive hand, like his arm just goes around Piper's shoulder, like one hand on the opposite shoulder. "Papa, my good friend, my friend, my companion, my compatriot. You are not going to tell me that you had this the entire time and that we spent an entire day in this town looking for transportation."
Only had one shot to use it, so I held on to it.
Hey, don't knock the apple chariot, okay?
I'm not
Yeah,
knocking
the apple
the
chariot
apple.
was
worked.
pretty great.
It was pretty awesome.
great.
We traumatized a couple rats, okay? It wasn't that bad.
Just gonna give Piper a hard pat on the back. All right.
Yep.
You see Isolde, she bows back to Piper and she said, "Well, Piper, we can't have our star attraction of the Witchlight Carnival roaming these plains for the next 8 years. So Mr. Witch thought that you would need a ride." And at that moment, Amelia, in her trapeze artist costume, which is all black and sequenced, and she has this leather cape on that are in shape of bat wings. And she's just bounding up with this big toothy grin, and you see she's got fangs. And she opens the door and she's just like, "Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to," and you notice the name of the carnival is different. It says, "Welcome to the Grim Carnival." And she says, "Please enter." And it's just like, travel has been provided by Mr. Witch of the Witchlight Carnival. And she does the big flourish thing and then opens the door for you. So
I love it. And Mayor, from where you're standing, you would almost swear that Piper's throat is moving, like he's doing some sort of ventriloquism, but you can't quite place what's going on.
Huh. Okay.
But do you all enter into the carriage or what?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
beats a 2-day train ride.
Yeah.
Right?
For sure. As Mare gets in, she'll druid craft some daisies and hand them to our trapeze artist friend here and hop in.
oh, she hops up and down. She's all excited and she thanks you.
Yes.
I go through my pockets. I don't have anything, so I just give her some dirt.
Hey,
To
She
plant
just kinda-
flowers in.
Is that good? Can I?
she just
Sure.
smiles. Yay!
And she pockets it.
Mhm.
Great. And then I jump in the carriage.
Welcome aboard, she says, as she does a flip. She bounces up and she rolls up, does a front somersault up on top of the carriage and seems to sit up by the lady with the top hat. And the door shuts next to the four of you. And if we could, let's have Piper please roll a 1d6.
Okay. That would be a 1.
A 1. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
And as you all are in the carriage and you begin to trek back, you can see that there is motion outside, the little bits that you can see through the windows that lead outside. And it looks like the outside is moving impossibly fast. You are moving back at a speed that is very rapid indeed. You can tell from the speed that you're traveling, Piper, you just inherently know that you'll be back in about an hour.
Okay. And what is our destination? Are we going
The city,
to
I'm assuming.
Okay. Yeah.
You guys,
No.
don't look outside for too long. I'm gonna starve. It's giving me like motion sickness.
Don't read the
there.
tome either. That'll really send you over the edge.
No.
Right.
I got something that might distract you from the view. I'm curious. We've all heard Piper. We've heard your story. I have a sense of who you are, Mayor. Goldie, you got a bit of a reputation. What's the tale? The bears, the beans.
Well, I hate to disappoint you, but it's not as exciting as it sounds. It's quite a bit more sad. And I don't know, I don't want to bring down the mood. We just had a great victory. And we're going to go save the princess. And I guess you're right. I do still feel like a bit of an outsider among the four of us. I don't quite understand why they'd want a former rat criminal on this journey to save a princess. I mean, I guess all I can hope is that, you know, the bounty that was placed on my head from the bear incident, maybe we can use this to, well, convince them to lift it so I can live a normal life. But the basics is that Jack took advantage of my youth and my understanding of the world to do a job for him when I was a kid. I was 13 and everything went wrong. And all I was supposed to do was go in and grab one small thing. And then before I knew it, the rest of the gang had set things on fire, and the bears themselves, the noble family that lived in the manor, I mean, they died with it. They died in the fire, and I only just got out. But it wasn't my fault. It was convenient for Jack to throw me under the bus and have this blackmail over me so that I would do what he asked me to do, so that he doesn't turn me into the authorities as that Goldie that burned down the bears, even though it's not true. He's powerful enough that he can convince people it's true. And I've kind of lived in his shadow ever since. And it's not too juicy of a story, just sad.
I don't think nobody here views you as some kind of criminal. Hell, as far as I can tell, you're probably one of the few genuine heroes that we have right now.
Piper says it's become apparent why you were chosen. It was because of your sense of perseverance through great tragedy, as well as your bravery. That's the reason why you were chosen to round out our party.
I think more than anything, I've learned from all of you that it's more important to be who you are and do things for good instead of worrying so much about what everyone thinks of you, which is what I've spent the last decade doing. And I'm grateful to all of you for that. Also, is there any booze in this carriage? Because I'm super thirsty after that nap.
Goldie, go ahead and roll a percentage roll for me.
Yeah, let me know just in case.
All right. Let's see. 88.
As you say that, much to your surprise, there seems to be a bottle of wine and 4 glasses that apparate out of nowhere and are in your hand all of a sudden.
Oh, magic is the best. And I chug the wine.
Nice.
He's like, the life of the carnival.
Cheers to all of you.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Yeah.
And the 4 of you make your journey back to Loron, Maine in the carriage. It is, like I said, it's actually peaceful inside despite the fact that you're traveling so quickly outside. Is there anything else any of you would like to discuss or talk about in this moment as you enjoy the ride back? You don't have to. I just thought I would offer.
Piper was still hurt from the last encounter, and you see him, he's looking at the skull of Sabbatha. That was one of the things that the carnival had recovered when they found Piper as a child. You see the light in his chest just suddenly light up, but it's slow. It's like really slow. And I don't know if you were curious about this green glow that you see coming from Piper's chest or anything like that. So if you wanted to ask him, now's the time.
Yeah, what is the deal with that?
I just point at it.
He kind of gets this kind of grinned, but also a moment of sorrow. And he says, this is what we call Sabbatha's last act. And it was her final gift given from her sacrifice to try and save me. But unfortunately, she wasn't able to. What happened was that the Unseelie Court and the Summer Court were in conflict. The Hourglass Cavern was at the heart of that conflict. But as they were driven out from the Fey Realm, those from the Summer Court were still in pursuit. And they had chased the hags from the coven from the Fey Realm to where they materialized in the material realm. And as a matter of fact, Zalda was the one that led the charge. When she and the other Fey soldiers that showed up to the lair, the hags had already scattered and were gone. They were to the winds. But what they saw, from the way Isolde described it, horrified her. She saw the body of a lifeless boy upon a dais. His chest had been ripped open, and next to it was a splattered journal, as well as the wooden reed. The skull and all other parts of Sabbatha that was just kind of left asundered. And besides that was this crystal Canubic jar that was in a heart shaped. And within the Canubic jar appeared that there was a heart still beating. But as Isolde approached, she could see that it was actually two hearts that were sewn together. So, fearing this dark magic, she recovered the lifeless body of the boy and everything else that they could find to take it back and take the boy back to the matron. She read through the journal. The hags actually had a plan to create their own archfey. And again, launch an attack upon the Fey realm. And should they prove victorious, establish their archfey to sit the throne of the Unseelie Court. And the Unseelie Court at that time would take over the Fey realm.
So it would seem that several of you have ties to the Fey Wild, the Fey realm. The fairy tales are not entirely done with the four of you, it would seem, in one way or another. Very interesting stuff to think about.
For part of this leg of the journey, as they're kind of recuperating and, allowing themselves to heal both physically and I think emotionally from everything that went down, Mare pulls out from the inner pocket of her cloak a small card that's about the size of a business card, and in sort of this light, delicate scrawling script, she reads the note that she's read so many times, and it just says, Merryweather, be the person you needed when you were young, Wanda. And she thinks about what her group was able to do today, what she was able to do today, and also having learned so much about this fantastic group of friends and how they all seemed to really have a tough time growing up, and thinking about how it's kind of poetic, I guess, that we all came together, and she, though this is a different job than she's used to, it still somehow manages to cycle back to everything she's done. And she just smiles a bit.
Definitely.
Hearing this, Piper says, this tale is not all tragedy. From everything that I had told you, that's how I came to be. I was the boy that they had recovered. The matron, of course, in her benevolence, brought me back. And, of course, raised me to be the Piper. To ensure that the hags could not cross back into the Fey realm, the Fey crossing itself was sealed with a door. And with that door was created a special key. And from all this, some of the misfits from the Fey realm and some of the other performers formed the carnival. And it was just known as the carnival this time. And the way the Fey crossing itself was set in one of the carriages for the Witchlight Carnival that's now in the Witchlight Carnival. Well, the carnival split to ensure the safety of the Fey crossing. Isolde has the key, and the Witchlight Carnival actually carries the door.
All of a sudden, the carriage lurches to a stop, and the door creaks open, and you see little Amelia swing her head down. Are you going to give away all of our secrets down there, Piper? You guys are here. Come on. Get out. He's going to tell you everything that we do. It's supposed to be secret, Piper. She wiggles her finger at you.
Oh my gosh, I like her so much
I
more
know.
now than I did when she was just doing cartwheels. I'm just like, respect. You tell him, girl.
And she bounds down off the top. She does a front flip. She spirals down, partially runs down the side of the carriage vans, strikes a pose. You have arrived.
Don't get yourself in trouble there, Piper. Hand on the back, gets up, stretches, starts to stride
A
out.
little sarcasm from that girl. I like it.
Like,
Yes.
when I
say-
get down to the bottom, I want to lean down to the girl and just, you keep him in line, you hear?
He thanks Isolde, and before we all disembark and take our leave, he gives Amelia a little kiss on the forehead, and he's just like, "Don't worry, dear." He's just like, "I'd never divulge all our secrets," and then goes ahead and joins the rest of the crew.
Definitely. And all four of you exit out of the carriage. And as you do so, you step off into Lower Main. You have arrived at the front gates where you all arrived what seems to be forever ago. Seems almost like it was 3 weeks ago. You have all from when you first disembarked. And as you look around, you can see that the state of the city is a little bit different than when you left it. You can see that there are a few more guards walking around. Everybody looks a little bit more on edge. And as you all turn back to say something to the carriage, you see just that little last trail of black smoke disappear off down the road, and it disappears up over the edge of the horizon. And when you turn back, you see that there are several guards who are approaching, and one of them goes, "I believe I know you. You're those people who were sent out by the Queen and Albrecht to see to the princess's care."
Yeah.
I must certainly say you took your time getting back. Come with us, hurry, please, come. And
Wow,
It's
this guy
it's
sucks.
only been the 3 days.
Yeah, this guy sucks. So rude.
and they lead you back towards the main Capitol building. And as you do, you can see that there are tapestries and banners hanging from the outside. They seem almost to be banners of mourning of some sort. Like maybe there's a sadness that is across the kingdom all of a sudden. And as you approach closer, you can see several of these guards in groups are looking at all of you, giving looks like maybe they're concerned. You can see several of them kind of back and forth to each other like they're saying something. You can hear one of them go, "It's about time," as you all are walking across down through the area. And you get up to the front of the entryway, and you see Albrecht, the leader of the High Guard here, that tall man, wide-shouldered. He's a middle-aged human with the dark hair that's finally coiffed, and he's got the silver in his temples, mustache, and a Van Dyke-style beard. He's still regaled in the armor and the cloak that you saw him in before, and he sees you all standing there. "My word, you have returned. I trust that you have come with good news."
We got the tome.
"Excellent. Well, there's not a moment to waste. Please, this way immediately." And he takes you further into the castle.
Hey, just out of curiosity, what day is it? Just like how many days have we maybe been gone? Just, obviously we know that, but just.
You're not aware of how long you've been gone.
Well, I am, but how long do you think we've been gone?
He actually doesn't break stride. He just looks over his shoulder. He looks at all of you, and he looks to you, John Henry, and he says, "Is she playing at a game of some sort?"
I mean, she spoke plainly enough, I think. But we've been hearing statements that we took quite a bit of time. As far as we know, it's been 2, maybe 3 days.
No, I say it is not. You
Belongs
all
in-
have been gone nearly 2 weeks.
Yeah, that's the hedge, I take it.
That may be.
Yeah. You do look like you've aged, honestly.
He just kind of gets a disturbed look on his face. This way, and he leads you up the rest of the ways to the stairs. You guys get up to that same doorway where you saw the princess last when you had first entered in, and he raps on the door like he did before, and the door opens. And when the door opens, you see the same bedroom. However, everything in here, it seems more drab. You could tell that the linens and the bed clothing and whatnot have all kind of been darkened a little bit. There's the colors in here are much more drab, much more low key. You can see that the princess still lies in the bed. But what is immediately shocking to all of you is when you enter in, if you recall, when you left before, the sign of her injury was just localized to her one finger and partially up of her hand. However, as you enter in now, you see that this strange sickness, these black veins that had begun to spread across her hand, are covering her entire body. Although she is clothed in a sleeping gown, you can see all of her arms, the side of her neck, her face, into her hairline, her feet, as you can see, are completely covered with these dark veins. It would seem that the sickness has spread throughout her entire body, and if her breathing can be believed, as you enter in Mare and you take note of it, she is near death's door.
Jeez.
Might want to get to studying or reading that tome.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mayor, anything we can do to help in this. I mean, I'm not good at reading books, but just whatever you need, let me know and I'll do it.
I've totally got this. Don't worry.
And on the offset, I'm going to go ahead and take out the silver spear just in case and just hold it.
Okay. So, what do you try to do, Mare?
Mayor would know what to do. I don't know what to do. So I think is the stuff still written on the walls that was there previously?
Yes, the rhyme is still burned and seared and carved into the wall. Yep.
Okay. I guess I'll open the book and sort of leaf through it to see what's in there.
Okay. Go ahead and make an investigation check for me, please. And if anybody wants to assist her, they can. But you don't have to.
Piper will give her again. He'll listen to the whispers coming from Sabbatha's skull. Touch Mare by the shoulder and grant her guidance. So that's 1d4 to ability checks or things like that.
Can I give her the help action?
Yeah, you could try to assist her. So, yeah.
I'll give you like a shoulder massage.
Oh, yeah.
With the guidance, my first roll there is a 22.
Oh, wow. Excellent. Yeah. Excellent. With the help from Goldie, you can roll that with advantage if you want to see if you do roll higher.
I mean, why not?
See if you crit. Right? Might as well see if you crit. Yeah.
Nope. No. Didn't do it.
Okay. You look through the book and you can see that there are several passages in here that do speak of sicknesses, that do speak of ailments, that do speak of slumber, of sleep, of different things like that that can be used as both for good and for ill. As you look through with such a high roll, you do notice that there is a passage about midway through the book that seems to be, and I should mention, the book is written in Elven. So, Mayor, you're really the one who can really read it and understand what it says in its entirety. Some of you might get snippets of it. Piper, you do know Sylvan, which is the ancient language of the folk to the north. So you do understand that it is in Elven. So you can kind of get a rough idea of what it means, but not enough to understand it the way the Mayor can.
Sure.
But as you look through it, you can see that this section specifically details a spell, a beguilement of some sort that can actually be used to put someone into a deep slumber and rob them of their life for a purpose to unlock the gate, whatever that means.
Ooh. I'll relay that information to the rest of the group.
Do they mean the gate that Piper was talking about?
Maybe. Maybe not.
Boy.
You see Piper's face go even whiter.
Go ahead.
Oh, and at this point, the door opens again, and the queen comes in. She looks very distressed, very upset. She is a tall, beautiful woman again, but you could tell she has worry that is creased across her features. Her hair is not quite in the array that she left it in before, but she still looks regal. She still looks, beautiful, but you could tell this is a worried mother. As she comes in, she goes, "You have returned. Please tell me that you have brought what we seek."
I believe we have. Yeah, I'm still trying to work it out, but I think we've got what we need to make this happen.
Well then, please, may the blessings be upon you. Please help the princess, help Aurora. The guides that we have here have told us that she has but hours left. Please, please.
Okay, Mayor's going to read faster.
Okay. Go ahead and make another investigation check for me, please. This time with advantage as well, because you kind of already parceled out the right area to be in.
Sure. Okay. That's a natural 20.
Oh,
For a total of 21.
Yeah.
perfect time
Nice.
for it. Okay.
Let's go.
Yeah. All right. So yeah, you look through and you can see that, yes, it does talk about how there is a way to reverse the spell. There is a way to end the suffering of those who are beguiled, those who are in the deep slumber, those who are being used as the key. And this is the snippet that you get, the information, and you can choose to do with this as you will.
Oh, okay. I will, I guess, look to the queen, and I'll just say, does Aurora have any significant other, love interest, paramour of some kind?
No, she is chaste and pure. She has not had a wedding decided for her yet.
Mm-hmm. Does she have any friends that she hangs out with a lot?
She has some ladies in waiting, of course, those who would be part of her entourage. What are you getting at?
Well, what it says here is that to end the dark times, become harrowed, and miss redemption is sealed with the power of love's true kiss. I think that if there's no paramour, then maybe as her mother, try. I don't know if there's no one that you could think of. What love is truer than, the parents?
Yes. Yes, of course. I should have known this. Yes. Yes, there is no love purer than that of a mother to her child. That is true. Thank you. Thank you. And she holds your hand. She squeezes a little bit. Thank you. And she looks like she wants to say something else, but she kind of just lets it hang for a minute. You see in that moment when she's about to say something else but doesn't, that her eyes do look over your features for a minute, look to your elven ears. Maybe she's a bit surprised that the elves have come to her aid. You're not quite sure. But she turns and she goes over to her daughter. She takes her hands. She holds them tenderly, and then she reaches forward. She leans down to the bed. She whispers something into her ear that she kisses her very lightly on her forehead. And when you're standing there, as she kisses her, you feel a tingling, a warming sensation throughout the tome. You can see the words inside are starting to spread and move a little bit. Mayor, go ahead and make an Arcana check for me.
I would love to. 21.
21. Mm-hmm. You can tell that the final aspects of the spell need to be sealed with the love's kiss, of course, but also with the power, the magic that is upon Aurora needs to be broken with other magic as strong as well.
Okay.
So you would know it would take magical essence channeled through the book. Out of game terms, you have to cast a spell into the book, basically.
Okay. What kind of spell do you cast into a book?
That's a great question. I mean, you
yeah.
don't have. There might be more to that puzzle. You're not entirely sure. There's other spellcasters here. Maybe they might be able to glean information as well. Who knows?
Yeah, I'll tell them exactly what I had seen in the book. I do think, yes, bless might be a good option, but I don't know. I want to make sure I'm not missing anything here before throwing some magic at this book.
Okay.
Thoughts, anybody?
Be things that define others. A power equal to love would be something that is a defining feature of ourselves, in a sense.
Piper says, "May I?" And he takes a look at the tome. If Mayor,
Please.
Piper, you feel it is hot to the touch when you take it,
Yeah.
almost as if it's trying to resist you somehow.
Okay. He examines it. Can I do an insight check?
You can do a knowledge arcana check if
Okay.
you'd like.
Arcana.
Drop my die.
Well, with that, he gains no wisdom. So,
Okay.
So yeah, he's perplexed because he can see some things upon the tome itself, but he doesn't know if it'll help or not. Some of the
I think
wording and stuff.
I might be able to
Yeah.
help a little.
Okay.
Could I possibly use my eye for detail to make an investigation check to decipher clues?
Sure.
It's like in the language of it. Like to actually, like we have all the clues now. We just need to decipher them and know what they mean.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, go ahead.
Am I still exhausted?
No, I think in the ride back, the carriage has miraculously restored that. So.
Okay, cool. So
was the wine.
Oh, yeah, it was the wine. Yeah, right.
So then I'm just rolling this flat.
Okay, perfect.
Um,
And I believe, according to the chat, if I'm not mistaken, you all have a advantage again due to bleak season.
Yes.
I think I see that up here.
okay.
Yes, indeed.
Then I will use mine.
Okay.
That is a nat 20.
Oh,
I
clutch.
that is a nat 20.
Bleak, we love you, baby.
Yep,
we love
yep.
you.
Thank you, Bleak Season. So that's a 24 investigation.
Okay. You look through and you start even though you don't understand the language, you don't understand what they're talking about, magic is kind of foreign to you. You do understand patterns, ciphers, how things fit together when you look at them under a very astute eye. And as you look, what you notice is there seems to be an equality to something. It seems to be that what you need to put into it needs to be the same as what you want to take out of it. It's like balancing the scales is the nature of trying to undo what's happening here. So in an out of game sense, basically, you need to put as many spell slots into the book as were used on the spell that affected the princess
Okay.
to counterbalance it.
Are there any clues as to how this was done to the princess? Like maybe in the original rhyme? So that we can determine what we need, how many we need to put in. Like, because I'm wondering if it's like because how many stanzas were in the original rhyme? Could that be?
Well, both Mare and Piper have access to the original poem, the rhyme, as it were. And we can take a look at that if you all do not actively recall right this moment. It is going to be iambic pentameter stanza. So basically it's 2 lines of couplets basically that rhyme in a 5-10 metered pace. And as you go through and you take a look at that, I'm actually bringing it up right now. You will see that, 1 second. Let's see who's faster than me. Anybody? Buried way down deep. It's coming, I promise.
And it might not be anything. I wonder if
Worth a look.
that's a clue, because technically we don't know the exact spell that did this to her. We just know who did this to her. So maybe there's just something in the pattern.
Maybe.
I know there was the mention of 6 and 1 as well. I don't know.
1 moment here. I am pasting it, but then I will also read it aloud for the audience.
Nice.
Okay. Into time's hallowed pitch does vengeance rise, the mistress of death to claim her dark prize. From vaulted halls of script, page, scroll, and book, creatures of lore follow whim made of crook. A lamb made from a sleeping beauty's plight, a crafter, a bear, and minstrel give flight. One of the mother's flock destiny seals, the travesty that marks traps sprung of trust. 6 and 1, the realms of man shall be burned, to never renew love safely returned. So it basically would be, it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different couplets that all rhyme together with 5-10 meter. There are also different numbers that are mentioned within. It mentions 4 legends. It also mentions 6 and 1, which happens to coincide with the number of the different nations down here below the hedge. So there's a few different numbers in there. You could possibly, if that is the clue, that could possibly give you an idea what's going on. Let's go ahead and do a group check of investigation. And we'll see. There's 4 of you, so we will need 2 successes to pass this.
I am re-rolling my natural 1.
Oh my goodness, Halfling has been
Yes.
so clutch for you in this game.
I went from 20 to 1 on the exact same
Oh my
dice.
god.
I'm going to use my advantage.
Okay.
I got an 18.
I got a 17.
19.
Okay, so Goldie got a,
17.
and John got a,
19.
Mara got a,
18.
and Piper got a.
16 plus 1, 17.
Okay.
Wow.
I
All
used
right,
so-
advantage.
I've taught you
Nice.
all how to investigate over
That's
the course
it.
of the last 2 weeks, apparently.
Yes. As the 4 of you put your minds together and you sift through the information here and you find out what's going on, you understand that basically this would equate to she's had a curse placed upon her, and bestow curse is a 3rd level spell.
Mm-hmm.
So you need to place 3 spell levels into the book to counterbalance the dark magics that are upon her while True Love's Kiss is being bestowed.
Well, I would be glad to do a 2nd level spell if someone wants to add another level on there.
I can throw in a 1st level.
All right. I'll put my hand on the book and look to John Henry.
Before John does, he looks to Goldie and just, Goldie, you want to place your hand on the book too?
Yeah. I'm gonna put the power and magic of sarcasm into the book.
Yeah.
Maybe that'll
And John is going to place his hand on top of Goldie's, and I'm going to cast heroism through her hand.
Ooh,
book.
I love that.
Ooh, it tingles.
Mhm.
I will be casting 2nd level bless, just trying to put all of the divine energy that I can muster into this book.
Okay.
Here, Piper, get in here. Just touch the book, and you'll
Okay.
Come on.
be
Well,
included.
the book kind of resisted me when I touched it. So he goes, I'll tell you what. He goes, I'll do you one better. So he touches his heart, and he hears the, between his heart and Sabbatha's heart combined. And with that, the glow from his hand is golden, and he will touch it, casting Cure Wounds into the book.
Okay. As you hear his heartbeat in time with the strange spiritual heart that's just outside of sight, but you all hear it, you hear the heartbeat starts to match the rhythm of the young princess. And although her heart is faint and barely beating and slow, as you cast your magic into it, as the four of you come together in this moment, using your shared experience, using your shared power, you channel it down into the book. And as this happens, you hear her heartbeat. Do, 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 do. And she starts to get power back. You see that some of the black in the veins around her starts to recede and pull back away. You see, as it does so, you all feel a draining effect. You could feel that you're putting something of yourselves into this moment to help this young woman that you've been tasked to save. And in this moment, magic comes out of you all, channels through the book. It spreads out through the room. And as the queen continues to lean forward, she kisses her daughter tenderly on the forehead again. And when she pulls away, there was a nimbus of bright light that emerges from the impact spot where she kissed her daughter's forehead. And it also moves through the room in a soft glow. And the princess slowly opens her eyes. Mother? And the queen scoops her up and holds her as the light goes through the room and slowly starts to fade as all of you feel yourselves pull away from the book. And in that moment, Piper, you swear that you hear something else in the room. Laugh. It's a strange sound, almost like coarse paper being torn through the wind. You know that the hags are not quite done with you or the book, and perhaps not with the realm of men. But in this moment, the princess is saved. The four of you step back. You look at your handiwork as she weeps, holding her mother. They hold one another, and we will fade to black on this scene. And later, we will find the four of you outside, and you look to the future. You must decide what it is all four of you want to do in this moment. You've saved the princess. You've completed your goal. You perhaps have uncovered some strange clues about the hedge and about the library of the elders, about this tome, and perhaps about yourselves. So what do all of you do in this last scene together? How do you all decide to venture on?
I think Goldie is going to take everybody to the seediest, darkest bar that she knows, just to expose them to a little culture of the city and actually feel what it's like to be here. There's definitely multiple bar fights an hour, and we can tuck away in a corner as we talk.
Love it. Absolutely. Absolutely. What about everyone else?
Yeah, Piper's enjoying himself, and he casts a little revelry with the crowd and plays a tune on his flute. Mm-hmm. Amazingly, it kind of sounds like Tub Thumping by Chumbawamba or something like that.
That's weird.
Nice. Yes, I love it. I love it. Absolutely.
So real jazz fluty and stuff like that. So.
Definitely. Mare or John, is there anything you would like to do in this moment? Yeah. Is there anything you would like to do looking ahead?
Mare is going to fully allow herself to just enjoy this moment with a group that she didn't expect to meet and work with and befriend in a city below the hedge, which is a place she never expected to go, and just enjoy this strange and wonderful moment, knowing that inevitably, whether it's back over the hedge or here or wherever, she will be called to do more jobs, and she goes where she's needed. So if that means at any point in time that these three would call upon her, she would help. But she is devout to her matron and to her cause.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And what about you, John Henry?
There's a moment in the revelry where John kind of manages to, in the midst of the revelry, gets the group like away from the rest of the atmosphere for a moment. And he pulls the silver spear out and holds it out to Piper. It ain't a flute, but I said I'd make it for you.
And Piper is kind of taken back and kind of just really moved. And he is just like, this was, I understand it's a gift, and I'm grateful that you made this. It got us through that, just terrible situation that we were in with trying to stop what was happening. And I believe this has a purpose.
I don't really know what it has for me. You got a lot more stories to tell, Piper. A lot more.
Certainly do, my friend. And I know just where and just who to let keep this until we need it again.
Goldie,
So-
I got a gift for you too.
Oh, for me?
And you see him pull the hammer, and he spins it in his hand. As he stops it, he reaches and grabs where the actual hammer edge meets, and as he pulls free, you see a smaller golden styled hammer pop free of that portion, and he spins it and holds it out to you.
Nice.
I love it. I was gonna say your hammer is the size of me, so I was a little nervous for a second.
Right.
But this is just my size. You know, what would be a great way to initiate this little hammer? I think that there's a gang member with a bean on his face that could really use a beat down from us. What do you guys think?
Before you decide on that, and he takes the wrought iron shield, and as he spins it in his hand, he clanks the hammer against the actual wrought iron, and you see this almost the age and the wear and tear fall free, and this myriad of metals in the shape of two wings seem to form out of the center. And as he looks down to it, he holds it out to Mare.
Oh, John Henry, this is a beautiful gift. Oh my goodness.
I'm just a working man.
Not the
And
best gift, though.
Never just.
as for me, and he plonks the hammer onto his shoulders. As far as adventuring goes, it's nice, and I love being with y'all. As far as I know, we're going to have a lot more, but y'all know where to find me. I still have some jobs to do. And he's going to stretch back and starts to walk. And as he does, he holds up a hand, and you see he takes the sunflower that you had given him, Mare, from his overalls, and as he sets it onto the ground, it just sticks in perfectly. And as he continues to move, you see more start to follow him as he walks, just whistling the old John Henry rhyme as he keeps going until he hits the railroad and keeps going.
Amazing. Amazing.
So good.
Yes, indeed. So, as John Henry makes his way out of the tavern and Goldie looks at her new little hammer mischievously, Piper and Mare, you share a look of understanding. You know that perhaps fate or something a little bit less sinister has brought you two together from different sides of the hedge to solve this problem today. And the tome that the two of you have on the table between you, you know, could perhaps write a new future for the two of you and future goals that need to be absolved. But in this moment, our heroes have been victorious. They have returned. And in this moment, they do, in fact, for the time being, live happily ever after. So this will be the end. So thank you all so very much for playing. Thank you, everybody, for watching. I want to take a moment to say thank you to Superior Adventurers Guild for letting us tell this story. This has been an absolute pleasure, an absolute joy. I have enjoyed my time here. They do great content. It's been an honor to be here, and I can hopefully say the same for my players. Real quick, let's go around the table. Let's tell everybody at home who has been here for this journey with us who we all are, where we can be found, and what we're all about. So let's go ahead. Let's go right back in the order we started with. Beth, tell us who you are, where you're at, where these fine folks can follow you for more fun stuff.
Well, I am Beth. I played Mare, and I can be found on social media at Beth Masco. This was so much fun. I don't know. I'm going to be thinking about this forever. I'm very glad that we were able to get a happily ever after for now. That feels very good.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. This was a joy. Thank you for being here for this, for sharing yourself as Mare. Awesome. Rachel, thank you as well. Tell everybody who you are, what you're all about, and where they can find you.
Yeah, thanks so much. I'm Rachel. You may see me in the chat occasionally as Arya Galaxy. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram. I played the mischievous and fork-tongued Goldie. Lots of curse words, lots of dirt, rough and tumble, but a heart of gold, as Kev has kept describing her. I hope that all of you have enjoyed the story that we were able to build over the last few sessions. And I would encourage anybody who's interested in streaming to check out the Superior Adventurers Guild Discord. We accept everybody and anybody, no matter what your experience in streaming or D&D is. We are welcome to all, and we would love to have you for our next game. So thank you so much for having me.
Well said. Beautiful sentiment. I love it. Thank you so very much for sharing your time with us these past couple of weeks. Javante, good sir, tell us who you are, where you can be found, and what else you are up to, which is quickly becoming a lot. So,
oh my God, I'm not gonna do as hype of an exit as I did my intro, but you can find me at Javante on my Twitter, at JHEV as in Victor AUNTE. I'm your local resident TTRPG goblin. I'm going to be in so many things.
Yep.
I don't know what I can and can't talk about, so I won't say any of them. But I'm going to be in so many things. So keep an eye out for next year while I destroy myself for the TTRPG.
All for your pleasure, people at home.
Yes, for everyone's pleasure at home. Also, I will be doing a lot of some wrestling things coming up very shortly. So keep an eye on my Twitter for that next week, in fact. So
beautiful. Javante, thank you so very much. This has been awesome. You have been such a great guy to meet in the past couple of months and do stuff with. So thanks, dude. Appreciate it. And of course, David, my friend, we do lots of collabs together. Who are you? What are you about? Take us on out here with this.
Okay. Well, first of all, I want to thank the entire guild and the cast. Oh my God, this is my first time meeting you guys, and I'm just so excited and happy that I got to play with you. Yeah, my name is David. I am part of the cast of Murder Hobo Inc. and as well as Kevin. I also work with him on Game Night Heroes. we should have some projects coming up with that. Let's see, we have a con coming up for Murder Hobo. So if you're interested in that, it's a 1-day con in February. So we'll be plugging that.
Yeah, virtual con, very, very fun stuff.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah,
Neat.
very fun stuff. Yeah, and again, I just want to say thank you. You can find me at DNDevious on Twitter, and yeah, you can find me in Discord here. I look forward to hopefully seeing you guys again soon. And yeah, Goldie, hold on to that scroll.
Oh, yes, indeed. Awesome. Thank you, David. Appreciate your time. It's always a blessing, my friend.
Thank you.
And of course, as I mentioned, I am Kevin. I can be found online at KevranGames. I was your game master this evening in the past 2 weeks as well. I am also the host of the Game Night Heroes podcast, which tells tales just like this, where we do different audio-based stuff, where we tell a bunch of different stories in a bunch of different systems. I'm also a Murder Hobo Inc., as David said, a couple of different campaigns there, and I do a bunch of other stuff. I'm all over the place. So I love the hobby. I love being involved. Like I said, I want to thank Superior Adventurers Guild for letting me do this. My first time doing a full-blown stream, not just a one-shot. This was totally awesome. They made it super easy. Also, I want to thank you, everybody in the cast. Some of you I've worked with before, some of you I have not, and it was a complete and total blessing. I would love to work with any of you again. And you at home, if you liked what you watched, let Superior Adventurers Guild know, and maybe they'll bring us back for something. I don't know. Who knows? We kind of left it open. There's lots of loose ends for these characters to sally forth into. I want to thank Miko, of course, for being an awesome producer and making all of our cool art, our battle maps, for running this whole thing. He's actually sick tonight, and he's powering through it like a champ. He's awesome. I want to thank Dave, who's in charge of Superior Adventurers Guild, for kind of wrapping us all up. Bleak, our man, out there giving us all advantage. He's awesome too. He's the one who suggested I do this. So thank you, everybody. Again, let's thank Tabletop Audio for the cool music. Thank Miko for the maps. We had Neutral Party had a map in there in the beginning too. This was a blessing. I love doing this stuff. So thank you all for hanging out with us. We did get rated, so thanks whoever just rated us. I don't have the game open because it distracts me, but thanks for rating. Welcome. Hi. But yeah, so with that, I think we're all set here. This has been awesome. Thank you all, and we'll see you again. Be kind to each other out there, okay?